Hey guys, I'm learning TFT. In this video, Marcel and I do a deep dive into 2-1 augment selection for the recent Tacticians Cup on day 3, where wasian Iverson, rereplay, and dankmemes performed extremely well. So we did a deep analysis into those 3 players. I'll give you a little teaser before doing a meta mindset on how to learn from your mistakes, how to apply that both to TFT and in life. And if you want to jump straight to the coaching session with me and Marcel doing the deep dive, you can take a look at the timestamp in the description below. So one key idea that both dankmemes and wasian showed that was kind of new to both Marcel and I is that, let's say you have this scenario here where caretaker's favor can be, this is on Mel's encounter for dankmemes, and he has, I believe he has scrap units in the back, and on Mel encounter, you don't mind losing the early game and sacrificing the early game for more components, and scrap was a very strong performing line in tournament and just generally in the meta right now. And so you would maybe slightly lean towards caretaker's favor versus either of the other two. But one of the key ideas is that even if caretaker's favor is slightly better than the other two augments, if they're in the roughly the same tier, like these are probably all like takeable augments, maybe slightly above average, but not like completely broken augments. And so that's one of the things we kind of identify as like, what are the really strong augments right now? So thorn plated armor in the early game on a 2-star tank is just really strong. You don't want to really transition that into scrap later, since tank items with scrap aren't that great because scrap already gives you a lot of shield. So you really want to focus on damage. Too much value. Cloning facility is really strong. Golemify and Dumbify are both good as well. And so you, in the right spot, you can kind of look for, and also the shimmer, the one that gives you a shimmer artifact is very good too. And so the idea here is that even if you might lean slightly towards this left one, it's still worth it to roll in case you can hit like a completely broken augment. So part of this analysis is understanding what's broken. So there's a similar situation with wasian in this game, where similarly he could go for buried treasures and go for a delayed start. This was actually on, I believe, Warwick's encounter. So you might slightly lean towards Void Swarm anyway over buried treasures, but buried treasures into scrap has been a pretty good line, and even on Warwick, you can have a really strong stage 3 and maybe sack stage 2 a little bit. But if you think that these are both kind of close and you maybe slightly prefer this one, the core idea is that even in that case, it may be worth rolling this in case you can get a significantly better augment than the second best augment, which is still serviceable. So that's a key idea from the coaching sessions, and we do a really deep dive. If you want to jump straight to that, you can take a look at the timestamp right now. Before we get there, I'm going to go into kind of the winning the inner game meta mindset idea of the day. And the key idea I want to talk about today is learning from your mistakes. This was a comment that Sagittarius mentioned, that I don't think I've ever watched Disso play a game and not comment on a mistake he made. And that's while he's playing the game or in queue for the next. This doesn't even include deeper analysis on VOD reviews and talking with other players. So some ideas related to that. Nathaniel Brandon, a psychologist, said, to find it humiliating to admit an error is a certain sign of flawed self-esteem, which is very common, especially for kids. Like, I have 2 young kids, and it's very natural for kids, whenever they're given feedback or criticism, to say that, like, I didn't do anything wrong, or to put the blame elsewhere. And we see that in TFT all the time. You blame more dog, you blame a low roll, you want to do anything but blame yourself. And the sign of maturity and a confident person is someone that's willing to actually admit that they're wrong, that they make mistakes, and they are able to learn from it. Daniel Kahneman said, an individual's subjective state can be improved by framing negative outcomes as costs rather than as losses. So the basic idea here is that instead of saying that I made a mistake as a, like, this is reflective of my identity or I lost something in the process, view it as a cost, or alternatively, you can view it as an investment that you're making into, like, the loss is not so much a loss as like you're investing in your learning so that you can improve your outcomes in the future. Karl Popper said, the whole secret of scientific method is a readiness to learn from mistakes. That's the foundation of how science works. If we didn't make mistakes at all, we would cease to make any scientific progress. Confucius said, a man who has committed a mistake and doesn't correct it is committing another mistake. Alexander Graham Bell said, when one door closes, another opens. But we often look so long and so regretfully upon the closed door that we do not see the one that has opened for us. So this can happen a lot in TFT, where you may have made a mistake and you are so focused on the mistake itself because maybe it's a sign of your self-esteem. You feel like it's a reflection of your identity. You feel like you've lost something and you need to mourn that loss. You go on tilt. And so ideally we can learn from that mistake, right? As Karl Popper said, correct the mistake and move forward and see what new doors are opening to us, as opposed to dwelling on the old mistake or pretending it didn't happen. John Gall said, a system that ignores feedback will eventually be shaken to pieces by repeated violent contact with the environment it is trying to ignore. John Kenneth Galbraith said, faced with the choice between changing one's mind and proving there is no need to do so, almost everyone gets busy with the proof. So that's similar to the idea that a lot of people don't want to admit that they might have been wrong. They don't want to admit that maybe they're not as knowledgeable in whatever it is that they're doing. They want to think that they're an expert and not admit that they might have something to learn. George Santayana said, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. And Charles Darwin said, I have steadily endeavored to keep my mind free so as to give up any hypotheses, however much beloved, as soon as facts are shown to be opposed to it. And so Darwin came up with his theory of evolution despite it being so counter to the meta of that day. But he really allowed his mind to open up and try to be open to as many facts and truths as possible, and to let go of what he thought he knew and to hold any hypotheses loosely instead of holding it extremely tightly and feeling like that is a sign of your self-esteem, a loss, and not being able to move on and open your mind to new ideas. And so that's your winning the inner game meta mindset of the day. I would maybe challenge you to think about how you can be more proactive and open-minded in exploring the mistakes that you've made, just like dish soap, in learning at least one thing from every game that you took a bot for, and not feeling like you lost something in the process, but rather that is a beneficial investment that you're making into improving at the game. So with that said, I'm going to jump into the VOD review with Marcel. I hope you enjoyed the meta mindset. I hope you enjoy this coaching session. It is very long, so feel free to jump around. I'll try to include timestamps into the various games that we analyzed. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and enjoy the video.
So game one is Powder Monkey. And I'll just go through, let's see. Let's show the board state and the scout state at like 1-4, and then we can quiz ourselves on what options we would take on the augment selection. So
Okay.
here he goes. I'll just like very quickly. So this guy has a Rage Blade open, Sword Tier, Singe. He's gonna have Singe 2, Rod, Glove, Vex pair. This is the Rage Blade guy. He's actually doing a good job scouting, right? This is for context. This is day 3 of the tournament. Game 1. Rod tier, sword, cloak, rod tier. A lot of AP items. Bow, glove. Okay, and our board state is Singe 2, Renata. I assume he holds for Kim Baron. Doesn't hold the extra Singed. Okay, so okay.
Oh, it's Cambaron, right? I guess prismatic Cambaron's like not great, but he has like 4 Cambaron right out the gate.
4 Cambaron is pretty insane, but so you would roll left, right, I assume.
Yeah, I guess the one downside is he has the Singe 2, which be problematic. Probably roll right first.
Yeah.
I mean, seems like you gotta take Cambaron, right?
So you'll be interested to hear his commentary. He doesn't like it a lot.
The Singe 2, I feel like really screws him.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
I think he talks through.
The thing is, I fucking hate this shit in tournament. Isn't it so easy? Also, it's fucking Powder's Monkey, so I'm like I'm like a -10. I mean, I have to, man. Like I have no choice. I have to. But like I'm just saying, I have a really high chance of going 8th tier.
Yeah, I think if you had other like clearer direction with the other augments that lined up with his spot, it's very reasonable to not take it here because in tournament, well, one the Singe 2 is it makes it a little harder, and then as soon as you get grief, your game is so hard. I mean, you can play towards I think if it was gold, you could play towards Smeet reroll, but the fact that it's prismatic makes it like prismatic. You're basically forced to go for like a big cash out.
Yeah. And another question here I would have is whether, well, I guess what's the difference between 3 and 4 Cambaron? It's like not worth leveling here, right? So then you could just play like a backline unit instead of the Singe, so you're not too worried about winning.
So I don't know. There are times where it's 5. It's a 5 chem. It's 5 shimmer is the difference.
Yeah.
So if you play 2-1, 2-2 with 4-4, you're up 10. Every now and then, like that 10 can matter.
Yeah.
In fact, this game, I'm pretty sure it does end up mattering, if I'm not mistaken, in the end. We can take a look, but since we're just gonna shotgun these games, right? He ends up griefing himself actually on 3-5 by being too strong. And then to save HP. The Powder Monkey doesn't -10 him, so that is fortunate in that sense. And then he has to like inch his way to 500, which he does. He strengthens his board, hits upgrades, and then he finds a Savika, I think, on Carousel. But see how now, like if he didn't find Savika, he would need the 10 to hit 500 here.
Yeah, so he didn't level on.
In fact, he needed it here. He needed it here. See, if he didn't play 4 Cambaron, he would not have hit 500 here.
So he did play 4 Cambaron on 2-1.
He did. He played 4 Cambaron 2-1 and 2-2. Yeah, he did. He did not get griefed stage 2, or like he got lucky with matchmaking, I guess, or like people were not open sufficiently enough that he was able to cash. And he hit a tank one here and took a first with Mundo. But I think it's still enlightening in that, I mean, he didn't consider it an auto pick. Like he didn't like it. If he had other prismatics that could have been like really good, maybe pipeline or other things that are really broken, he would consider not taking it there just because it's lower. Like in tournament, as he's saying, I feel like it unnecessarily opens you up to 8s if it's the prismatic one, such that you're willing to take other high EV augments. The issue is all its other augments, which we saw, right? We're all trash.
Yeah.
Maybe you can argue hedge fund, but I think hedge fund is like it's the same. The EV of hedge fund versus this hedge fund is so bad when you don't have good direction, and like you may as well just gamble this Cambaron, I think, if you're gonna go the hedge fund direction. Okay. Next game. Portal is Mel. Uh, 1-4. Let's see if he scouts as well this round. So his board is Draven 2. He's scouting here. Nice. I think.
He's like he does like partial scouts.
Yeah, he's going through all of them actually.
Okay.
So he does. We can quickly look in case that informs our decision somehow. Glove, Ezreal. Sword, belt. Nothing insightful. Bow, glove, enforcer on bench. Lux 2. These are very fast scouts, right? You can't really glean that much. Rod.
Yeah.
It's more so I think if there's anything like crazy, like an Urgot pair on bench with a belt, sword, or stuff like that, then you would know. He's also in a lobby with. He's not in a lobby with Spencer. Like there are people that love to call comps, even though they're not angling it. But okay, he holds the enforcer 1 cost. So again, our units are Draven pair, Rel.
Draven 2, right?
Draven 2, Rel, 2 1 cost enforcers, Rod, belt, cloak.
Okay. I feel like if we had Rage Blade here and maybe like a Darius 2, I'd consider Noxian Guillotine. But probably not, given that we don't really have a. I mean, I guess we could slam like Even Shroud, but you're so far. Like if you take that, you need a streak. So I probably roll that one. We don't have a great front line, so probably not Clockwork. I guess Clockwork could be okay later. Caretaker's Favor could be okay since it's Mel encounter, so like taking a delayed strength augment seems to make sense. Out of these 3, I feel like I would roll 2, then 3, and then consider 1.
I feel the same as well. I think it's a roll 2, roll 3. I don't know how well you know like the breed these players have on the patch, but Scrap seems to be one of the best default lines. And so Caretaker's Favor could be good into that. Your items are like kind of mid for the Scrap line, I guess, but that's like one option that I'm thinking of. But yeah,
not
I
like
agree.
too bad, right? Like the Rod is good for Echo. Like you could.
No, it's not. I don't think it's too bad, but I think you'll end up in the spot where your items you want to make for your current board don't line up with the items you want for your final board. Because like this Rod wants to be an Echo item, but then how are you slamming this on anyone?
Right.
It's kind of hard. That is one issue I have with Scrap. You have to like, which I've seen. I think we'll see replay do it a few times. You have to play these wonky boards to get there, and it is a lot of skill for sure to know like what AP items you're willing to slam, and then how you end up getting to the quirky Echo board. But yeah, I agree. I would roll middle. And then probably right, just because left is better. I don't think right is like the worst augment in the world on 2-1. It's not good, but I think I've seen Tetsugo take this, for example, on 2-1. He's not ever happy about it, but I don't think middle is acceptable here. No spat opener, no loot sub to have like gambling a spat, no Draven, no Darius 2, no really amazing item slam you're happy with. I mean, you could slam Even Shroud, but like I agree with your assessment. I assume he rolls middle first. Has your priority changed here for what you like and dislike?
I don't think so. Like if we had like a Darius pair, then maybe. But we don't really have anything that gets that much value from the. I mean, I guess you could just view this as pure econ and save the rerolls. Which like could be okay to just be able to tempo this, but we also don't have like great slammable items besides the Even Shroud. I'd probably still lean towards the Caretakers.
Yeah.
I feel like every time I see top players see cloning facility, they take it. Seems like it's just broken. It's kind of like experiment emblem where you just get an extra. Well, I guess experiment emblem you get 2 extra units in the early game.
Mm-hmm.
We get 2 Draven 2s right now. But given that it's Mel and our front line's not that great and we don't have a slammable item, I don't know, I feel like I would still take Caretaker's favor. I really don't know how strong Cloning Facility is. I feel like I just see people take it all the time.
I feel like it's a little bit better in my mind. I think on 2-1, if you feel very strong, I think you can take it. I think my issue with Cloning Facility 2-1 to try to win streak is you can very easily run into stronger augments. Like the biggest culprit is stone plated armor. That like you basically never beat. Like nothing really ever beats that augment on 2-1.
Which augment? Stone?
The bramble one. The bramble.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That one. A lot of portable forge hits will also just beat you if they have a 2-star unit. Darius 2 also just clears your clone. A Darius 2 with items. And so it doesn't truly feel like unless you're very I like it a lot on 3-2, 4-2. When it's just like still good strength. But okay. So here you take caretakers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think when I was looking at this, I was unsure what I would take. I think the logic here, he rolls it, is that Epic and Cloning Facility are already good choices. Like I think I've made this mistake in the past a lot more, and I think I probably would have made this mistake here as well. I think I would have taken Caretakers. I assume it's a mistake because he's playing really really well. But if I think through the logic of it, if I were to bucketize all these augments, these are all in like the slightly above average in my mind for a 2-1.
Yeah.
Caretakers slightly above average, Epic slightly above average, but maybe you could argue it's slightly worse than Caretakers. Hard to say. Cloning Facility maybe slightly above average. If you roll this and you miss, you still are left with a slightly above average choice here. But you open yourself up to taking things that are insane. You hit Experiment +1 here. You can hit Stone Plated Armor. Maybe you take. I don't know if you take that here. But basically, you open yourself up to finding something that's insane for your spot. I don't really know what that would be for his current board, but like the logic in my mind is that when you have other good alternatives, you roll. You roll anything that's not like clearly better than the other stuff.
So I feel like that makes sense when you know what could be better. I just like can't even think of what would be better. Like Stone Plate Armor, I feel like you would want on a 2-star frontliner, right?
Does he have a pair of a frontliner? He doesn't even have a pair of frontliner, you could. I've still seen people take it even with 1 star. To be honest, you go even Shroud Bramble, and you just what else could be insane in this spot?
Like Experiment Emblem, you don't even have any experiment units, so is it really that strong to like take it?
Oh yeah, Experiment you just always take. And on this patch, no matter what your board state is, you just take it.
Okay.
Yeah, at least that's what I've heard people argue. That's what I've seen people do. It's just so broken that as soon as you hit Urgot Zyra early game, you're good to go, and then your late game is also insane. And his items aren't even that bad for it. I mean, yeah, you need a bow, but it's not that hard to get 1 bow. Yeah, I think a lot of this is just like knowing. I mean, assuming that was his logic, a lot of it is just being more in tune with like the current state of all augment like tiers. He does take Epic here. And then the other thing too, I guess that's really good at Econ nowadays, which I mean, it's a little more niche, but it ends up happening in his game. We can quickly go through this. The last game was a first. I can give context from these games since we're going to shotgun 2-1 decision making, right? He slams Even Shroud, goes for a bow here, and on 3-2 he takes Dumbify, which you would never be able to take if you didn't have an Econ Augment. And Dumbify and Golemify are both so good right now. If you're able to take them in your spots.
Can you go to the board state before he selected Dumbify?
Yeah, he has a not even a weak board. It's not amazing, but it's not weak. Not that weak. Yeah, it's not amazing, but it's like, I mean, it's a board that you could argue you could still think of playing throughout stage 3. Draven 2, Zyra 2, Swain 4 Conquer. No pair.
So Dumbify is just that broken that you could basically take it if you have econ from
especially if you have rolls like this. If you have rolls like this, I think especially he's also Rage Blade, right? It makes a lot of sense with this setup. I think if your setup was more like melee, then it starts to be a little less broken because your guy might even die before the dummy does. You'd have to like do these weird positionings where you backline your melee unit and make sure the dummy takes aggro, or you have to gamble same side dummy with opponent backliner. But in this setup, as soon as you have a Rage Blade and some econ or econ portal, you should really start considering golem and dummy. Yeah, and he gets experience. I think this game becomes a little less interesting because I think he actually would have been very interested in the outcome of this game, but then he hits experiment +1, and so the game is completely free. Yeah, I mean I think he takes a second this game. Okay, so he goes first, second. This one is Warwick. I think so far our guesses are you're 1 for 2.
Yeah.
This is the same game. Wait, what? 2 hours. It's not jumping to the right time. I'll just jump to it manually. 2 hours. Okay. And I said Warwick.
Yeah.
Vlad Pair. He's doing some scouting, but like it's Warwick, so I feel like scouting is a little less. Like, in the interest of just speeding up, you can also go through because you're like mostly planning on playing strongest anyway, regardless of what other people are playing. He has Vlad 2. Vlad 2, Urgot, Draven, Blitz, Rel.
Draven, just no Darius.
Draven pair, Vlad 2, Urgot, Blitz, this guy. Rel.
I would take Conquer if we had a Darius. I guess the item's not really slammable either. Definitely not. Well, I would roll middle first.
Agreed.
Like Pilfer, you already get enough gold. Like I feel like we just want combat power, because you get gold from winning, and you don't necessarily need more gold for Pilfer. So I probably roll middle and right.
Yeah, I also don't really like Conqueror because even with the Darius, because I mean maybe the Darius, but like you don't really want traits. You want strength, right? You want like items. You want like stone plated armor here.
Right.
You just want to win and cash out your orbs ASAP. In this spot, I think there's some spots where your board is so doomed that you have other plans, but the plan here I feel like is just be as strong as possible in my mind.
Yeah.
You said you'd roll middle and then you don't like right too. It sounded like you didn't love left as well, but
yeah,
like
I don't
would consider it to get a Darius. I think is what you're saying.
Yeah, I get the good thing I feel like with Conquer is if you could just super aggro like push levels and like because you get double rewarded playing Warwick.
Yeah. I think you'd have to like win your first couple rounds and you're like off to the races. But
yeah. Oh. Don't really like it that much. You don't have good items. You need like rods, right? Lots of rods.
About it, yeah. He's so expressive.
Oh. I mean, I like middle better than right. Spark. I mean, I feel like it's all that shimmers in Gold Collector. I feel like if we had like a slammable tank item, I might even just take the Mogul's Mail, but without that, I feel like just take Gold Collector.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And in fact, okay, I'm starting to think about it from the last game where this augment could have been behind door number 1. I mean, this one was better than all the other options, right? All that shimmers is S tier dispatch, because it's really good on Corki, really good on Twitch. and he had a Draven 2, right? He had Draven 2, I think. Okay, so this would have easily been better than Epic and the other one. So yeah, that's why you roll the Anvil one. I forget what it's called. Caretaker's Favor. Yeah, I agree. Take this, and then, like, in my mind, like, there's a small chance you take Moguls, but I think Moguls doesn't really help you kill units. You have no DPS, right? And your whole goal is to kill units. Like, you'll proc gold, but your whole goal is you get gold from killing units, and you have half a IE.
Yep.
You have a Draven pair, so you have potential to have. You have like half of a holder, right? You have like Draven 1, like you have almost Draven 2. So
Gambler's pretty much only reserved for like you have Rageblade and Kog'Maw.
I think so. Yeah, I've taken it for when I have like literally Cog out of Orb and like a Moo pair or stuff like that. But
yeah,
usually it's just this patch collector is so good. I mean, it's very like the drops early game are determine so much of your game. Like if you don't proc, there seems to be no pity mechanic on the procs. Like I've had games where you proc like almost every unit, and then there are games where like you kill every unit and you proc like basically nothing.
Yeah,
and it really swings your game. But it's just such a good item, especially in Warwick's, because it also is it's like both econ and combat, right?
Yeah.
And also Draven already can crit, so he benefits from his empowered autos can already crit, so he benefits from the thing.
Oh right, he doesn't even need IE, right?
Yeah, you would still make it here, obviously, if you can. For the next unit you're gonna get with it, but yeah. Okay, and this game, if I'm not oh, I forget now what he plays here, but we can just quickly look through. It's like it is a prismatic pipeline, Corki scrap game. But I think he hit top 4.
Okay.
I took Reunion, which is super good this patch as well, because these 2 units are really good. Vi and Echo.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like you were correct there. So 2 for 3. Just not that we're really keeping score. It's just nice to track, just kind of for awareness of your current reads, I guess. This one is, what did I say it was? Sorry. Loot Sub.
This is the same game.
Yeah.
I mean, you got them one video off.
237. Okay.
Oh, it looks like the text is right, but the link is incorrect. So if you just copy paste the text, it might get you there.
Yeah, I'll do that.
What was the encounter? Loose up?
Yes. He's saying some stuff here about his line, but I will reserve it so that it reserve what he's saying, so it doesn't spoil your read on the line. I can review that after. I actually don't even know if it actually ends up being what he plays, but yeah, I actually don't think it does. But yeah, boots of. If I'm not mistaken, he actually forgets to check the loot here, which is actually mind blowing to me in tournament. But he takes his augmenters before seeing the loot.
You mind Xing the audio thing?
Yeah,
in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has singed. Yeah, he has singed.
He has singed. Okay. It was loot sub. Like loot sub, the lobby like tap out could be so high that I feel like Baron already is like kind of high variance and just be even worse. Like you catch out 400 or 500 and still just get killed by someone that high rolled like 2 emblems. So probably not Baron. Like Portable Forge is always strong if you can get like good Nocturne or just any good artifact. And then Cooking Pot. I'm gonna play towards. What were our units that we were holding again?
Singe pair, Lux pair, GP, like 3 scrap units, Zyra.
Okay, so like from a unit standpoint, we're like leaning towards like Academy or Scrap.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Cooking Pot's usually better for like amateur or like Bruiser Twitch right now. At least, yeah. Like, what other pan items are good right now? Oh, and Sorcerer.
Like Urgot, yeah, it'd be like Artillerist with like an early swing or Sorcerer, yeah, stuff like that. Yeah,
I feel like we just don't have any slam, like any of the units for any of those lines, so probably not Cooking Pot.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just Forge here. I think Forge is just so good. Like, if your right two options were so awful, maybe you could consider Chem Baron, but not really. But I think Forge is just so hard to skip this patch.
Okay. And pretty much snipers. Well, we don't have good items though for Nocturne. But like none of the other ones are any good either, it seems like.
Yeah. I mean, did you see it in the shop as well? That he had one, right?
Oh, he had a. I did not see it.
Really important. But when you click the Forge Augment to look at your shop as well, you get like a split second here.
Oh, okay.
Knocked. Like this change. I mean, I don't think it changes it here, but like in case you get, let's say you get that and you get the Regot item. What is it? Locket.
Oh, yeah.
It could change your decision making, right? Someone calls it in chat as well. Like, there's knowing your shop here is so big. You get like a split second to see.
Okay, I need to.
Yeah. He says he forgot to look at the loot before, but like, I mean, at this point, I assume he saw the Nocturne, so yeah, he just takes it.
And like, yeah, Spat, and it's just really good to try to cap with 6 Automata.
This is a very interesting take to me. What would you consider here?
I mean, the default line now, like you shared with me last time, is the Sentinel version, not the Automata version.
That is what he plays this game.
So, Sniper's focus range default is 3, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so. Actually, wait, is it 2? I forget now. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. No, I think yeah, I'm not sure anymore.
Spike gives what, 80 and AP. That's it, right? And then it has the stun.
CC.
I feel like Big Gem and Virtue, like Big Gem, I would exclude Zeke's because it just messes up your positioning, and you're usually solo. Well, I guess you have like TF and Nocturne carry, but like you don't have enough units that benefit from it. I feel like Spike could be okay, like because you're kind of bumping. Although TF backline not great. Big Gem and Virtue, I feel like are both decent. With the 4 Sentinel frontline, I feel like you can get pretty late with that. The other thing is that we have like tank items basically right now, which I guess leans more towards Big Gem as a way to get more damage. And I feel like Virtue in general is just solid with 4 Sentinel because you just have so much resistance. But given these items, I guess it's like a Sunfire Slam open tier. Tier can go on either frontline or TF later. So I don't know. I feel like it's like pretty close for me between Big Gem and Virtue. Maybe just Virtue right now because like Big Gem wants to go on a backliner and we don't really have a great holder of Big Gem like right now.
Yeah, I would. So I guess Gem gives amp, which we already have some. We have not a lot. We have some with snipers, but I was definitely leaning more towards Gem or Martyr. I didn't think Zeke was as awful as you're making it out to be, but he actually takes Spite here. Interestingly, I don't want to dwell on this too much if we're doing too much offense, but he takes Spite. And I haven't searched this yet, but I'm just curious if the stats would agree with him on that.
It's AD AP, right? I guess like you're playing dual carry with TF, I can see that.
I actually didn't think Spite was often like quite takeable. I just from looking at the stats previously, like in other lines, looking at support items in other lines, I never would have thought that this was like even like a reasonable option.
4.3 in the stats.
I like to do this, right? I just do unsplit items. He had it. He was correct. This is actually easily the best choice. Damn.
Sample size, like pretty small sample though.
1K. I mean that's pretty good.
I guess decent.
You can go higher at gold. Actually, it goes down now at 10K. Actually, it's quite.
That could also be like gold players not positioning it well.
Well, what about Emerald? We'll go into That's actually hard. Now that these numbers are jumping around so much, it's hard to say. You're probably right in that 1K is quite small. But here it shows Zeke's and Spite being pretty close. Gem being slightly worse. It also doesn't include a ranged item, but that's going to make the play rate even smaller, right? Even lower. It looks like Virtue is just so bad in general. I wonder if I know people have not been taking Virtue for a while now. If not mistaken, it's not one of the better ones. But this is what I typically think of Spite, is that Spite is one of the worst ones. But it could just be that people don't position for it well or something at low elo, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like this is already GM plus, and Spite is always like pretty low. And Gem is usually pretty high, but it looks like the numbers here are pretty smushed together though, to be fair. So it's fairly balanced, I guess.
Yes, maybe part of the rationale could be that you are. I feel like usually ranged knock should out DPS most front to back, in which case you're more so at risk against melee like Urgot or like the ambushers. So then and Vi, yeah. So then Spike can slow them down.
Yeah, I can see that. You typically have enough DPS. I think this game he ends up getting screwed because he has to roll so deep for Nocturne 3 when he's one off, and then his game just falls apart from there. Because you need levels with this comp. You need to hit and get levels. But he rolls like 1 million gold for like one Nocturne here, I think. I think right here.
Although one downside of Spite is like Elise is the most played forecast, and like you are clumping so much for that.
Yeah, you already are. It's hard to declump anyway in this comp, but because Nocturne is 3 range. But yeah, I agree. I thought it was interesting that he didn't hold all these other units on this roll down, but it didn't even matter because he missed here. He rolled literally 0 and didn't hit knock, and now his game is. I think he ends up 6th. Okay. Game. Maybe we can jump to another player and then jump back to him. So next here. Okay. Let's do wasian or replay. Any preference?
We do wasian.
All right. I think I skipped one of his games. It was an Ambessa trainer portal, which is really boring. This one is no encounter. Oh, whoops.
I'd probably roll left and middle. If we had backline items, I'd consider good for something. I feel like Latent Forge seems like the obvious pick out of these 3, and just go towards some type of melee line and hope we get a good melee artifact. Especially since we're already playing Urgot.
I think that's the way this patch is played. I mean, you have Urgot, you have Trist, so like I feel like, and you have Titans, so I feel like you just play that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can make this. I think this is still a very interesting game in the way he played it.
I think in these spots, I always wonder like whether to hold like knocks, and I guess he doesn't. He just he does. Okay.
Wait a second. You're onto something. Not just knock.
Hold ambushers too. You just hold all 3 lines.
And he also doesn't slam. Like I think here, if you're playing Urgot, you can easily slam QSS, but he doesn't.
And this other guy's playing ambushers.
Smeech, yeah. Looks like there's Smeech, Chem Baron. Collect here. He's gonna get an extra item with his forge. Sure, I'll go through this pretty quickly. He's holding both sides still. He's not even rolling. He's.
Wait, why is he selling the knock?
He probably decides that his items are too.
Oh, okay.
Right now he's just Camille.
Okay.
Or Urgot, and he's pre-leveled to 6. He hasn't rolled yet.
Yeah.
Right. He doesn't mind losing a lot here, and he's truly just playing around his anvil spike. And here he takes a tier. Oh no, he takes sword. Okay, I was gonna say a tier is very odd to me, but maybe not that odd. I guess it'd be hot, right, if you're Camille, but I don't know what it would be if you're Urgot.
Even then, I think the stats have DT better than Hodge, right? Or I guess not for Camille, but for Smeech.
For ambushers, it's definitely Hodge because of the crit chance.
Oh.
The shop is pretty insane, but then I mean now it's pretty
Prowlers, ambusher.
Yeah, but I think you were onto the right track, which is just holding. If you would have done that, you would be making the right. At least if you assume Wasian is playing up closer to optimally than we are, you're doing the right thing, right? And in terms of holding both sides, right? And it gives yourself both out. He doesn't mind like not rolling on 3-2. Losing, he's 54 HP, which is pretty low. He's playing his 2-cost reroll on 3-5, but his setup is way better, right? Because he gave himself this chance.
What did he have?
He would be Mittens Urgot, which is not the worst, but it's worse than definitely worse than this.
What did he have on 3-2 before he rolled? Maybe this should be our next module because I like almost never roll on 3-2.
What did he have on 3-2? Oh, to roll here for a 2-cost comp. He didn't have Urgot pair, so he didn't have Urgot pair, and he's on a loss streak, right?
Oh, sorry, I meant after he cashed out the anvil.
Oh, after he cashed out the anvil. Oh, you wouldn't have rolled here at 70 gold?
Oh, okay. So he's committing to Camille reroll, not Smeech. Okay. Is that why he's rolling here, I assume?
Yeah, I assume. It's not just that. I think he's at 54 HP. I don't think your board is acceptable at this point. At 54 HP, you have to.
So here, what are you looking? Because he rolls more, right? Yeah. Like, what else is he looking for here?
Upgrades would be really big, right?
He's so far, or I guess it's only Loris that's paired.
Yeah. Hey, that's why he doesn't know. He also doesn't dig, right? He's still just rolling to 50. But I think he just rolls for the. Let's see. Does he roll further here?
Because like even from this spot, I'm like not. I mean, at this point, you're committed to the Camille 3.
It must also be that the other guy is Smeech, if we recall.
Oh,
I think it
was okay.
Mushroom.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
This guy's Smeech. That's okay. This guy's 100% Smeech. He has the dupes. You can't do Smeech. So you have to play around Camille.
Okay.
Like if you were super concerned about even Camille, then you would Mittens Urgot. But I think that sounds. I mean, Mittens Urgot is just like, it's not awful, but it's not amazing. It's not as good as this is. Right? This is insane. I think he takes a good placement in this game. If I'm not mistaken. He Smeech 2 the whole game, and he takes a second, I think, with this. Like Camille carry is usually like hot garbage, but with these items, he has another combat augment as well. An item collector, which is good for his spot. He even gets another insane augment here, to be fair, but he does take a good placement in this game. He plays this interesting 4 ambusher, 4 enforcer like board with Caitlyn. Okay. Next game. Hopefully the links are No, some of the links are. So I realized as I was making this that if I copy the URL from full screen, it doesn't work. And so I started typing it in. But if I copy it from exited, I think replace links work. It's really annoying. Yeah, here. 144. This one is Vander.
Which one's Vander?
Golden Gala.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's quite a...
Urgot Whisper. Probably checking for, like, the easiest thing to check for here is how many other people have Urgot lines, right?
Mhm.
Like, if it's unclear what you really want to look for. Obviously, there are stuff you can look for, but in a really brief scout, the easiest thing would be just...
You're looking for anyone with Urgot or Zyras and or like melee units / like BT Titans Hodge.
Yeah, just to see. I mean, you likely are just playing the line anyway if you get a good augment for it, but just in case, like, you have another line here.
Yeah. Roll left, roll middle. Yeah, I roll left 2 first.
Why middle?
I mean, I guess that does give you 2 full items that you could slam. I feel like I just have been valuing gold over. It's like if we take middle, we want to hopefully try to streak, and if we had like tank items, then I feel like middle maybe makes more sense because then you could have 2 item Amumu. Whereas as it stands, I mean, I guess this does fall under the category of like we're close to being quite strong.
Urgot 2, yeah. Urgot 2, you also have Zyra pair and Urgot pair, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I just like haven't really valued salvage bin much at all, but it can, I feel like it would be pretty good to like play salvage bin towards scrap.
Yeah, it can be towards scrap. These items are also close to Twitch, right? Not that like vanilla Twitch is that amazing, but from ahead it can be. I've been seeing Digital has always been really good at playing salvage bin and takes it a lot, and so I've been valuing this more and more. But yeah, I think I would have rolled in the same order that he did and taken the same. Sorry, I didn't let you choose the last augment, but I feel like would you have taken this at this point? You would have rolled. You would have rolled left 2, right? You would have rolled left 2, I think. But at this point,
I think I would have rolled middle, and I actually haven't taken too much value. I probably would have actually taken. What was the roll after? Okay, yeah, I probably would have actually taken mentorship.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah, this one is really good now with the buff, especially because it can give you Urgot 2. It gives you 4.
Oh. Okay. Wait, what was it before?
I think 2.
Oh, I see.
Plus 4 gold and 2 cost comps are just quite good right now, especially now. Like you're basically guaranteed to hit super early.
Yeah, okay.
You just play a board of all 2 costs for like stage 2 and even like some of early stage 3. Like you don't even care about synergies. You just bank up all these rolls.
I see. So you're getting 4 gold a turn, and then once you hit Urgot 3, you get out and play the standard Urgot board.
You can choose like when to pivot out. Like it just depends. If you start win streaking, you can start to like drop some rolls and go more for like HP and streak gold. Like here, just notice obviously he doesn't make the Zeri because he's not playing around Zeri. He's not trying to win. He's not able to really win streak with the setup. But even with Urgot 2, and then he just plays 4 2 costs. Win loss doesn't matter. You have Oh, he makes a Zeri too eventually, actually. And then he must have made it after he won 2-1. makes a QSS interesting as his first item, and then let's just see. Since you haven't taken this augment, I can just show you like how he plays it out. But see how he doesn't like just play 2 costs. Like now he's already playing just 2. Yeah, he has 10 rolls, and he's already pivoted out of his like shit 2 cost board.
I see. So it's like deciding when you want to start streaking, basically.
Yeah, or like play for HP/strength.
Oh.
This one is also very interesting to me. I thought left was an insta take.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought too.
I have taken it in the past in this comp, and it feels odd because you don't spike with it at all until so much later.
Mm.
I mean, you could put it on the Tristana and like not play the Zyra, but you're still only 3. You're 4 experiment for a lot of the game. Mm-hmm. Whereas this, you play so many bronze traits with Urgot, and you have no damage amp anyway, and you have so much AD from. Well, Tristana builds up AD, so I think I would have taken Experiment Crest here, and I think it'd be wrong. I mean,
yeah, that's so annoying.
By the way, a bunch of comps in his planner in case that's something you thought was interesting. I thought it was, and that like his planner is like filled with preset comps here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not tunneling on like 2 cost units. He's just playing the standard board here. Like you could like I don't even know if there's a way to do it. To be honest, you have to do like instead of GP, you play. No, there's no way actually because you could play set, but it will only be 3 2 costs.
Okay, so he stopped banking the extra like the 4 2 cost set and rerolls to
3-1. I think he just stopped.
Okay, so it's basically 2 gold a turn plus he got 4 gold a turn for like 5 rounds.
Yeah, and it gives you 8 gold to start the game, right?
Oh right. Okay, it's like a way better trade sector.
Oh yeah, trade sector is untakeable. People have been complaining about it for a while now about it being like it's an outdated augment. They buffed it, I think, for the next patch in the patch notes. But yeah, I think this game ends up, I forget exactly, with Vanilla Urgot. He hits early. I don't think you really are playing for a win in spots like this, although the second augment is good. His support item is Lifesteal, Omnivamp, and maybe he does take a first. I forget now. He takes Deep Roots. He does take a first. Never mind. Oh, wow. Vanilla Urgot, if you play it well, is still insane.
So what else do you play too much value with? Like Trist reroll. I guess you can play with Camille.
I've seen Zeri. Like I've seen
Zeri.
Take a first with Zeri. Not with this augment, but I've seen him play Zeri with this. I'm not play Zeri, period. Like a reroll comp. Yeah, like Tristana, Urgot, Zeri. I don't think you can play Renata with this. Maybe you can, but unlikely.
Maybe after the new patch. The Leona got buffed in.
Maybe. I've seen people try playing this and not play reroll. You just bank a bunch of rolls for all of stage 2 and 3. I don't know how viable that is. You just use it as econ, right?
Yeah.
And if your final board has 2 2 costs, then you get 1 roll a turn as well for the rest of the game. But it's definitely an option that you can consider taking now. I think it was quite bad before, but with the boost in econ it gives you, and with the odds of hitting 2 costs that can help you, with the increase to 4 2 costs, it's a good option.
Yeah.
Oftentimes.
You said you've seen people play it just purely for the gold value and then not play the 2 costs, like not play 2 cost reroll?
Yeah, I don't know how good it is, but I've seen people take it. I think I may have even done that once. So it's just something that could be viable. Like because of how much gold it gives you up front now and the hits it gives you, I think it's just like a reasonable option in your augment options.
Do you know if the default 4 2 costs they give you can have a duplicate, or are you guaranteed uniques?
I'm actually not sure. That's a good question. You just get a full 2-star off of it.
That'd actually be worse though, right? Because you would lose the gold value of the rerolls if you weren't able to get 4 right away.
Oh, for sure. You preferred unique. Yeah, you prefer unique ones.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. I think you did not get this one right because you just haven't been taking two for too much value.
Yeah, I think I tried it like in the first patch or two, and I was just like underwhelmed, and I haven't taken it since it was buffed, so I got to adjust that.
Yeah, it's good to know now that it's quite viable. 228, and this is Warwick. Everyone's favorite portal in competitive. I think the last game was like final game of the tournament was a Warwick game. It's just so upsetting. Okay. He's doing like cursory scouting, but nothing really stood out to me, at least in that scout. I mean, you could pause, but I feel like in the interest of time, we just continue. Okay. Board state is a ton of pairs, sentinel pairs, sword, bow tier.
None of these seem very good. Hedge fund, definitely not. I mean, buried treasures would normally, I feel like, be good with scrap. I guess out of these, I'd lean towards buried treasures. Yeah, roll right and left.
I think so. It's just scary because it's Warwick's.
Yeah.
I don't. If I truly believed, I think I've seen a couple of people claim that other people have claimed that you get better loot if you don't kill stuff early game. I don't know how much I believe that. Like if you don't kill stuff early game, supposedly your drops on stage 3 are better. But it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case, but I just don't know. And if that was the case, then I'm a little more willing to take slower augments. But
I mean, all of these are slow augments, right?
Oh, I would think middle in my mind because of how good scrap is this patch would be one that I'm more willing to take if I truly believe that slow is fine in Warwick's, but I don't.
We don't have any quick strikers, right?
No.
It's easy. I also have not taken Void Swarm. Was it gained 3% attack speed? I mean, Void Storm is definitely the strongest early, and like we have a million pairs, so I guess we are close to being really strong and being able to streak with Void Swarm. I feel like
really strong, but like strong enough to not take the worst losses because you will lose to anyone that takes prismatic that is like plus levels, right? Like anyone that goes level 6 with going long or whatever, you lose for.
Yeah. I feel like I would still take buried treasures
and just try to angle scrap.
Yeah. I mean, we can have a really strong stage 3.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. But
I guess
here, it could be that he thinks that there just is a better option here. I think my guess is he's thinking of what's behind door number 2. That's my best guess because there's going long. There's at what cost? I don't know if at what cost is really that takeable. It probably is just because you get so far ahead, which is the whole point of this portal. So my best guess is that he just wants to see what's behind door number 2.
Okay, so this is like the first game with dankmemes where it's like Void Swarm is probably good enough, and I feel like whenever I have these scenarios, it's like Void Swarm is probably good enough, and then the middle, I already forgot what it was. Buried Treasures is like, in my mind, it's like maybe slightly better but not great. So then sacrifice the slightly better for higher upside and settle on the good enough.
I think so. I think that must be what it is because we can sit here all day and debate what is better between Void Swarm and Buried Treasures, but broad strokes, these are like both in the category of mid in this portal, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to fish a little more, I think, as the learning here. Which I think I was also opting to take this. I mean, as I said, I think I make this mistake pretty often as well, in that I hyper optimize between two choices when there's always another option, right?
Yeah,
which could be better. And you just settle for like this one if you hit, which he did. Right? He hit something, I forget what it was, untakeable behind this.
Yeah, I forgot what was behind it either.
I don't think this is untakeable, but it's this is also like very mid. So yeah. he plays an interesting line here. It doesn't go very well. I mean, it's Warwick, so I don't know how much to read into it. But he plays because I don't know what the good AP lines are this patch, if any. And he plays this like 4 emissary, 4 sork board. It doesn't go well because he misses a lot on 4-2 and says as much in his chat afterwards, which I would agree with, having watched a bit of the game. I think he goes 7th. He doesn't hit Zoe. I mean, but Warwick games are so hard. He also took an interesting 3-2 augment, which is a calculated enhancement. Okay. Game 5 of Wasian. Fuck. 327. And this one is gold sub. Forgots on people's benches.
You mainly reserve the scouting of the whole lobby for 1-4. Like, no point doing it before then.
Sometimes I see people do 1-3. I mean, depending on how locked in I want to pretend to be, I can do it on 1-3. I really don't know. Like, it helps you to see like, oh, this lobby could actually be AP. I could give you some info, right? Like if half the lobby has Rage Blade already, like it gives you some stuff to think about. This guy is a known calls something and doesn't play it, so you never know.
Okay. What was our board? We have a 2-star. Yeah, I mean the stone plated armor seems so good especially with scrap too. What else could we do here? I mean, we have a scrap line, so caretakers would be solid, but like thorn plated just seems insane. So we can get like a 3-item bundle pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And yeah, roll left or roll the right too.
What would you slam if you took thorn plated?
Most likely we'd play scrap. So
would you though? I feel like thorn plated is. I mean, you could, but in my mind, thorn plated is so bad in that line because you don't even want any frontline unit, right? Because the shield.
You want more traditional front to back. It is
like scrap. You want like all offensive because your shield is already your defense. You want all offensive, and you want like if you want some defense, it's to your augments that are busted. Like you want like a immovable object. You want powered shields, but I feel like having like a 3-item frontliner is like there's no one even for them. There's literally no one. Right? It would be like Rumble, but he's not even really a tank. It would be like Elise, but she doesn't even benefit from your scrap shield. So then there's no one to tank.
What will we slam? It's probably scrap the vest and then so we're talking about like more traditional front to back, but not scrap. I mean, we could play Enforcer, we could play. Just trying to like think, given the units that we already have, like Academy, if we didn't have these units, yeah, I feel like Enforcer is the most obvious that comes to mind if it's not scrap. In which case, like, okay, slamming the Hodge, but I feel like I would want to ideally play a 4 scrap mid game and then maybe transition to Enforcers. So I don't really want to slam anything if I can.
Yeah. I do not want to slam anything for flexibility.
But if I have to, then I guess I would slam like, I don't even know, like Enforcer. Like, no, I feel like the only thing I would consider slamming would be Hodge.
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad. It's just you just Hodge Bramble. Like Trundle is already a good unit that does damage now.
But if you're playing like a tank with frontline, you don't really want to play melee, right?
Vi can kind of be both, is the thing. You just put both on Vi. Put the Hodge and the Bramble on the Vi.
Oh, okay.
Vi is such a beast.
Yeah, I don't think I really ever put traditional tank items on like melee units. I should probably just think about that.
It's mostly Vi in particular. It's like you wouldn't do it on Ambessa, but Vi is so strong right now that this augment also gives healing, right? So this augment is like quite good on shielding, like going infinite kind of units.
He didn't need to slam there though. Like he probably could have just not slammed for both of those fights.
2-1. Yeah, he didn't have to. Let's see. And then I think he actually plays a very interesting line here. I think he misses a 4-2 or something. He plays an expensive board mid game without a true win streak.
Going towards Twitch or
salvage bin? Yeah, going towards Twitch. And then I think I'll just show. I mean, I know we're doing augments, but we're going faster today than most other days. What time do you have to end today?
Around 5:30.
Okay, we have time. Okay, so I'll just show this. I think this roll down is very insightful. He's quite poor. He has a win streak, but like, this is still poor, right? For a level 8 comp. He has salvage bin, so you can play anything. Holds the GP pair here. There's an Elise. You obviously can't 4-1. You could probably just slam a bunch of stuff because it's salvage anyway, right? Just to save some HP this round. What does he slam? Just whatever BS. Okay. Spencer playing Zeri here. Spencer won the tournament, by the way. I think I've seen him play Zeri a few times now. He gets anger. Spencer gets anger issues here, though, if I'm not mistaken, which is not really fair. But just bonus points on 4-2 augment choices. What do you take here? Bonus. Yes.
In Browns for life, he's already has so many traits activated. The other thing I would consider is one overflow and play scrap.
I get so dizzy with one overflow. Yeah.
I mean, he has so many items, right? Like every augment is items.
Yeah. You're just so poor is the issue right now.
Yeah. So bronze for life out of these.
Yeah, I think so as well. What's interesting is that because he now has bronze for life, his board, he's playing around a bunch of 3 costs, which I would not have thought would. I don't know why I wouldn't have thought it. I mean, in retrospect, it looks fine, but he just plays a 3 cost board for like most of stage 4. He's 25 gold. Like you're not hitting Twitch 2 here. You're not hitting Mundo 2 here. You're not hitting Elise here. Elise 2 here. Right? He has Elise here, I guess. But he's on a streak, so I guess that's why he rolls. But I mean, he sends it to 0. Go. Vipair. Twitch.
This will be the Twitch bronze for life board probably. Wait, so you're not even holding the Twitch? No way, right?
He doesn't even buy it. He doesn't even buy it. It's surprising to me, yeah. He just plays this 3 cost board. He just plays around, like he has a bunch of traits. And I assume his read is just that, dude, he's so poor. You're not hitting Twitch 2. You just play around this board.
Oh.
And he goes 9 off of this.
What? And I guess Twitch was contested there.
He just like, forget about Twitch. I'm just playing TF, GP backline. I mean, having Vi 2 definitely helps. He's doing what I mean, I saw the game, so I can't claim credit for this, but I think I would have done the same, which is a Hodge and Bramble to Vi. But so Vi really helps your board here. You obviously lose to Smeech 3 at this point in the game. But
how does the augment work again? It heals you for the amount dealt with damage by the Bramble Vest, or just buys all around damage?
I think by the Bramble Vest. So it's like it doesn't scale off anything, but it's more so that Vi is just such a monster. She shields herself, and so you get good EHP from any resistance.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there was
doesn't even buy Twitch again here.
There was also a damage chart. All that magic damage is from the Bramble?
I think so, yeah. I mean, he's double Bramble, but still.
That's like half of her damage output. That's insane.
I would think it's Shiv then. If so much of your damage is magic, you probably think Shiv here, but I guess he also doesn't have AD shred. Okay, fair. So then he goes Last Whisper here and Hodge. Yeah. But he just goes 9 off of this, which is wild to me. And he just plays around. And I think he was even arguing in chat. He doesn't take a first tier, which to me was not surprising because his board is so wonky in my mind. But his argument in chat, which is probably correct, is that if he gets a 2-star 5 cost, he wins here. And I think his argument is just because he knows the strength of Bronze for Life more than I do. I'm looking at this board where he has a Trundle on it and DP2 carry and thinking that this board cap's low, but he's holding this Mouse 2 out, Jace 2 out, and doesn't hit anything. But his argument is that he wins out if he hits a 2-star 5 cost.
Oh.
I think.
Even against that Zeri board?
Bro, I feel here. You can look at the chat. Bro, I feel like any 2-star 5 cost and I win the lobby. And mind you, Wasian only makes he doesn't really bitch about preposterous things. I feel like when he says stuff, I usually kind of believe it because he doesn't really yap that much.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, I thought this was a very interesting game and that I would never have played it this way. But I mean, in hindsight, obviously it's easy to try to post-rationalize, but to me, in hindsight, it makes sense. But I would have always tried to play around Twitch 1, even though your goal situation is clearly telling you're stuck on GP2 carry. Yeah. Okay. Go replay or finish off dank memes.
Yeah, let's go replay.
All right, let's go 3 games to replay, 3 of dank, and then 3 back to replay. This one is Powder Monkey. He's also scouting on 1-3. So all these guys are scouting 1-3. His scouts aren't there. He takes some time on each board, so I guess he's actually looking through stuff. Rod here. Morgana 2, Darius pair. Oops. Sorry. I was trying to pause, but then it spacebar ended up exiting out. I think the rolls are obvious anyway, so it didn't spoil anything. But
yeah, roll middle, right?
Yeah, this one they're buffing it because it's untakeable in the current state, if I'm not mistaken.
So we have Morgana to.
Yeah, Morgana to Darius pair, a few scrap units. Based on the feet, is this singed feet?
I think so.
I'm not sure. Is that singed feet? No, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Will you pick singed feet over Aurelia?
I guess it's for Cambaran. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I like singed over Aurelia. Unless you want to hold rebels, but I feel like singed gives you more outs. Looking at these items, there's some world where you play Renata here, very unlikely, but I mean you have this too as well, right? So singed is better.
I'm surprised he didn't sell any of his left side to get Aurelia Vex, because that would clearly be strongest board. So
this shows you his. I kind of know more of his read.
Just really wants to lean towards scrap, enforcer, ambusher.
His read is he plays a lot of. I mean, we'll watch 6 of his games today, so you'll see it. But he likes those units a lot.
Yeah,
those lines a lot, which I think is good. I mean, he played very well this tournament, so clearly his read is good. Yeah. So roll middle and right instantly. And what do you like here?
And Living Forge seems the strongest out of these. Wait, what was the encounter? Powder Monkey. Yeah, I'd probably roll left, lean towards Living Forge.
They are nerfing left, showing that left is very good. But I think even if you consider left and middle as both really good, then it's backdoor logic of earlier, which is then you just look at what's behind door number 1 because these are the same. Right?
I still don't know like what I think. Part of that logic implies that you know what's completely broken. So like, what would be really, really broken in this spot?
Experiment +1, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if anything's better than Living Forge, to be honest. I'm pretty sure Living Forge is the nuts already. But maybe Experiment +1. Maybe he really likes Scrap +1. I don't know if that's true.
It's gonna be like Ambusher round.
Not from the spot, I don't think. I'm pretty sure you always take Living Forge over that. I don't know what you could take over Living. It'd probably just be Experiment +1. Even then, I'm not even sure in this spot if you would take it over Living Forge.
Yeah. Okay.
Darius 2. What do you take here?
A Spectral Cutlass. We don't have like great items, but yeah, I mean Spectral Cutlass and then lean towards like Camille or Vi. If I had to pick another one, maybe it'd be Trickster's Glass and just try to streak with double Darius 2. But
I just think Cutlass is so. I guess you go for Hodge, but why doesn't he like Cutlass here? I feel like I don't know how much I believe in Cutlass, to be honest. In higher elo lobbies, I feel like Cutlass in the stats for like, in my mind, a Cutlass is kind of fake. Unless you have such a good like 2-3 item slam opener, people just position around it, and then you don't get like you don't get the cheese fights with it. And so you opt for this just like tempo, stay open kind of a. Does he slam? Oh, this is also very interesting to me. I think he slams Arch on
Darius or on
Arch here on Morgana. So it makes sense. It works with his board, right? He has double tricks, double frontliner. So now this Arc is going to be strong, right? Arc is also very strong early game because it doesn't really need. I mean, it gives you it scales with the fight. It's in the same way that Rage Blade is good early game. Arch is also good early game, right?
Yeah.
Long fights.
So now you're just playing Heimer.
I mean,
I guess
I was thinking that too. It's like, oh, he's taking Heimer.
Zoe.
We'll keep watching, but I would have thought that as well. But I mean, if you think about the synergy of Living Forge with his preferred lines, he likes Scrap. Living Forge gives you more and more items.
Oh.
He just puts Arc on Echo. It's just an AP item. I mean, in the same way that Echo likes Death Cap. I mean, sure, like if he dies early into the fight, then it's not as good, but he doesn't care. Arc Echo, whatever. Arc Rumble, if you get to Rumble, whatever.
Why is he not popping?
He also doesn't pop to wait for his item drops. I think he's not truly committed to this line, is my best guess. Because if you look, he's holding TF. I think so. I looked at this quite a few times, but he already decided here. I think if you look at his planner, I forget if it was 3.6 or 3.7. He starts taking units out of his planner, and his planner will also show you the line that read that I was saying earlier. Yeah, he does. His planner is he doesn't ever put 4 costs in his planner. I noticed with the replay, he only puts 1, 2, and 3 costs because he already trusts himself to not miss 4 costs.
Huh.
So here he has the Enforcer line in the bottom, and he has the Scrap units in the top. And he has I don't know why he really values Urgot, but he does. And then he takes out the Enforcers as soon as he sees the Echo. It's my best guess. He sees Echo. All right, I'm Scrap. Makes an Urgot too, I think, because it just goes with like people play Tristana typically on this board, but he tends to value Urgot probably because if you hit GP2, then it's much easier to carry GP2 backline before you hit Corki because now he has Pit Fighter for you.
Yeah.
He's rolling, save himself time. And then, you already know what he's playing here. He hits the Rumble, so it makes it a lot easier. But then now, if you look at his item spread, he's just he took Fishbones for his Corki. I forget what we can look at his options. I forget what his options were. Just to make it Fishbones RFC. I think this is pretty easy, right? Unless you can light shield the Rumble maybe, but you already have so much shielding on the board. Here he takes Reunion, which is super busted, over Bad Luck Protection. And Item Collector in my mind could have been really good here, but +1 Echo is pretty broken. And now he's Vi-paired. Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't roll 0 here, but he must be fixing his items, is my guess. And then now this game's pretty easy. But yeah, it's interesting how he ended up in this spot. At least I thought. Like Tricksters and Archangel, I never would have thought Scrap would be like a good line to play. But I don't. Do you know if the clone gets a shield? Oh, yeah. It does. It does. It does. So actually, Trickster is quite good in this line.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've done a cloning facility. Scrap has felt pretty.
Also gets the shield. Okay, yeah. So actually, it makes a lot of sense now that Trickster is quite good for the line. I wonder if in the stats it even says that. My guess is yes, but you can quickly look. 6 scrap items, artifacts. Yeah, it's quite good. Collector, Zonia, Horizon. Who does it even go on? Managing DFG Tricksters.
Horizon just go on Vi? Oh, Elise?
I guess one of those. I would not have thought they would be, because it's not even one of your scrap units, but I guess. But yeah, Trickster is quite good. Just Trickster the Echo, Trickster the Rumble, maybe even. Okay. Next game. It just shows like when these good players have a read of what's good in the patch, they're willing to play it from in my mind are unorthodox openers for the line. I would never think that. I'm repeating myself. Archangel's Trickster is like a good scrap line. If you think about it more, it is, right. It's just in my mind not like super standard.
Yeah, it seems like his game plan is just flex between Enforcer scrap every game. Yeah, and like you can figure out a way to fit AP or AT like in either of those lines. So it like doesn't even matter what items you have.
Yeah. This one is, I think I have the links working now on this one. Mel's Blessing, and he's looking at Academy, Crown Guard, Deathblade Redemption. Lux 2. Spacebar thing is killing me.
I think you press K to pause, I want to say.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Now I know.
So we have Lux 2 and like a bunch of random stuff. Oh, we have Darius pair. Okay.
I would caution from saying things are random here. There's
Okay, we have Lux to Darius pair Urgot.
Yeah.
Um,
Urgot Vlad. Is it Matt? I think Maddie, right? Urgot Vlad Maddie.
not Vlad. Okay, so our strongest board is putting the Vlad in. So we have 2 Watcher, 2 Sork. If we want this Mel's blessing. My strongest board right now would be high voltage with a Nasher Slam. Well, I feel like AP is not that great right now. If we know his game plan is like flexing Scrap Enforcer, I guess Nasher's like okay on TF. It's like I feel like it's not great and probably not great on. Okay, I think it'd be like Guard Breaker Slam actually, not Nasher. So Guard Breaker, open.
Given his game plan, I would agree with that. Yeah, if your goal is to play strongest, I think that's the right approach. Guard breakers go down on all those lines.
Roll middle and right, and I feel like I don't really like high voltage. It's like, I mean, it's pretty solid on Echo. And Echo you could play in the Enforcer line as well, and it's good with TF. Obviously good on Scrap. So yeah, roll middle and right. And actually, I guess left is probably better than I'm making out to be, especially with the Lux start. So Guard Breaker, open bow, high voltage.
But what he does here is also reflective of his game plan. but it's actually very interesting. He rolls left because he thinks he's already set on Urgot. But Bosso hits him with the same. He looks over, and Bosso has Starry Night. So that's why these discussions I think is actually super useful. I mean, I think you've done a whole video on like Prisoner's Dilemma and whatnot, which I think is super fun. But I mean, people can think it's super cringe, and that I mean, it's your prerogative.
So he was going to do shop glitch Urgot.
Yeah. He if you recall, Wasian also played an Urgot game from a reroll augment on 2-1. No setup, no artifact, just vanilla Urgot with a reroll augment. And good and reasonably good items, right? Like these are all halves, and he's gonna lose streak. He's gonna throw away his Lux too. He's gonna throw away his whole. He's just Urgot, based on one Urgot and Shop Glitch.
So Shop Glitch is worth what 10 plus 2, 12 free rolls, and what was the augment that Wasian had?
Too much value.
Too much value gives you 4 free rerolls for 5 rounds, so that's like 20 versus 12.
I think that one is way better, but this is still just like a reroll augment.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Okay. And then given that Bosso is contesting, I feel like he can't still go Urgot.
Yeah. So what do you do now? He gave up his left augment, which I don't know if you would take that anyway. I mean, you could. But the high voltage, because he rolled it, I assume, thinking that he was playing Urgot. But now he's maybe considering you could still contest Urgot, click Shop Glitch. What do you think he does now?
If I were to take Shop Glitch, I feel like I would lean towards Ambusher instead.
Yeah, you could.
And then, but given the situation, I feel like
he has a Vlad as well, by the way. No Rod.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't consider that. So probably just, I mean, our BRB board is like not bad. I think just play BRB and slam Guardbreaker, open bow on Lux, BRB. Like hopefully we kill. I mean, I feel like we should kill a good amount of units and have like decent HP and get a bunch of items.
Yeah, and then play what?
Scrap. Oh. I'd probably still stick with the BRB game plan.
Just if you had Darius too, would your mind change here?
I mean, we just saw Wasian play the stone-plated armor into Vi. That was scrap with Vi, right? Or was that Enforcer?
He played like some weird ass board. He was like it was a bronze for life board, so it's hard.
Oh, okay.
It was the GP2 with
Mm,
3 form swapper. It's just like some weird stuff.
I think I would consider taking the Bramble one if I had a Conqueror here. But
yeah, then you can kind of like get econ and win.
Yeah, I feel like without the Conqueror, assuming Darius 2 and Conqueror, then I would probably take the Bramble. If just Darius 2, no Conqueror, I think I'd probably still take BRB because our BRB board's like pretty good.
I think I like that logic. Yeah. I think my one concern with BRB is what is the portal again? I forget.
Mel.
Yeah, is we'd be a little on the poor side to hit a like scrap board, but at the same time you're staying level 3, like you're not going to get that poor. So
and BRB supports like the Mel, it like aligns with it, right? Because you're kind of sacking early game anyway.
Yeah, just 3 rounds, but yeah, he does exactly what you're saying. We can just breeze through the rest of this game. He takes. You can look at the item takes here, which I don't think are very controversial, knowing his lines that he likes to play.
Yes, it's just very flexible.
Yeah, if you're wanting, they can go on Corky or Echo if you're playing scrap. GS Vi is actually really good in the stats. I'm not really sure why, because you tend to like bruiser items on her or tank items on her, I think. But GS is very good on her in the stats. And then here,
IE red buff probably. So I mean, IE synergizes really well with the guard breaker, but red buff red buff's just solid.
Yeah, agreed. I think I would have leaned red buff here, but he goes Did he go red buff? I forget now. He goes IE, makes the Rage Blade.
Rage Blade. I assume this is still scrap, right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of these good players make Rage Blade anyway early game. You just put on a GP. It's not even bad on. It's like reasonably good on GP. I forget what placement he takes this game. He takes AD Corky, Echo 2, but no Rumble. Oh, I think this is just a no Rumble game, and so then you cap a lot lower. He also has no GP2, which really hurts his board strength throughout stage 4. Yeah, these last two fights are GP2 diffs, I would imagine, and then he just bleeds into a 5th. Yeah, no Rumble, no GP2. You're not gonna top 4 very easily in these lobbies.
Yeah,
but I don't think his game plan was bad. But I think his game plan is good in my mind.
Seems like his game plan is just a slam, like very flexible, like guard breaker GS, very flexible items that can go on like basically any carry, and
just play scrap every game.
Yeah. Then you just put it on whoever you 2-star first.
Has, some of the most consistent results in tournaments. Like across every set, across every tournament, he is always making like final day. He's basically in the dish soap tier, in my mind at least, of tournament consistency. Dish soap set. I mean, Setsuko has not been playing tournaments as much lately just because of reasons, but I feel like he's in that category as well. But replay is and Wasian is in that category for sure. But I feel like replay is basically just is there as well. I don't know if he considers himself as good as Wasian. He seems to downplay like how good he is compared to Wasian, but yeah, I think the sort of in my mind is like, okay, he has a very solid game plan, and he's just sticking with it. Doesn't overcomplicate it. He's not cooking, at least from the games I've seen.
I'm gonna jump into the restroom really quick. I'll be right back.
Okay.
You just like put on something for people to watch.
Yeah, I'll put on this the start of this game. Sure.
Okay.
All right. Ambessa Portal. And his thing is Sentinel, Quick Striker, Conqueror.
It's like a great vertical conqueror if he can tempo it.
Yeah.
Not paint the blue, not long distance spells. Don't feel great about Clutter Mine, but I guess Clutter Mine's like not bad since if you can hit that Darius too, it can be pretty good.
It's a 5-item game.
Yes. Was it? His golem was Quick Striker, Conqueror, and Sentinel.
Mm-hmm.
Or take Portable Forge and pray for a range item for Nocturne.
Oh, yeah, you could. Yeah, that's true.
All that shimmers. I mean, we got Rage Play, Quick Strike.
I don't think he has the Draven right now. Well, not mistaken.
Oh.
Yeah, no Draven. He has a Sneak.
Yeah, that like doesn't even do anything with our emblems.
Yeah.
And he has a Nocturne. I mean, he could still do Nocturne with like.
Really? Are you sure? That sounds pretty bad.
Or I mean, just like to tempo.
Oh, I see. I thought you were saying reroll Nocturne. Okay,
Oh no.
Just put it on the Nocturne. Yeah. Okay.
For now, until you can get. I mean, hopefully you get Draven, but like.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Not great. But yeah, probably just artifact and hope you get range Nocturne.
Yeah. You have the shop, which is a stub here. Nothing useful.
Could play like TF reroll with Horus, Mana Zane, or I guess Light Shield is just like kind of the default. Don't really like any of these. I mean, I guess early game could be if you hit the Lux 2, then Mana Zane could ride you for a while. Light Shield. I mean, you do have Sentinel emblems, so you could play vertical Sentinel. Man, these emblems are so weird. Unless you get. I just take Light Shield.
Yeah, what about playing towards like some TF reroll thing? You have Archangel, Nasher, shit like that, Mana Zane. I don't know if that's like the best combo, but something like that could be an option. But
I feel like normally it always feels so bad with Mana Zane and Archangel because it's like
anti-synergy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. And you could do like a Mana Zane Nasher Vow, right? Then you can get a death cap or something.
Yeah. Or even what, Shiv Morello?
I didn't know that this was takeable, but he takes
Drench. So he's gonna play towards Ambessa with that?
Yeah. I thought this item was basically dead, but I guess he doesn't think so, and then can jump through the game since we're just doing 2-1 augments. His HP gets so low, but then I don't even know how he hits 9 Conqueror. So I think it's good. Maybe he calling. Oh, he's basically dead. Maybe he hits calling card or what? Yeah, he hits calling card, dude. He's basically dead, hits calling card, and then just 50-50s. Yeah.
Nice. The suspicious trenchcoat on Ambessa's stats are still pretty good.
Oh, they still gotcha. That's why he played towards. I think he was dead regardless, even if he hits this Ambessa too. But then he hits 9 Conqueror and just wins the game off of that. Yep.
Gotta love Ambessa.
Next game. Vi Anvils.
Good for scrap. Good for like Urgot reroll.
Most reroll lines really like this, right? Because you
good for Ambusher.
Dominate stage 3 against all the 4-cost players. Urgot in chat again, and I think who says it now? Someone else. Like people love
Spencer.
But like he doesn't even have an Urgot, dude. He has 0 Urgots stored. Both same.
Trolling him.
Yeah, I don't know if this guy actually. This guy actually, I think
he's actually serious there.
Yeah, he's serious. He just doesn't play it often. What he says, but I'm pretty sure he's often serious. I think he means it seriously.
The game theory of Spencer with chat is very interesting.
I think a lot of it is to ward people off. Like if people have a mid Urgot spot and he types it, you can get warded off, right? Even though it might be your best line, and then even though he might not even play it eventually, but now you just got fucked because you didn't even play your best line.
Yeah, and I feel like it could tilt people. Like I feel like in basketball, elite basketball players do that shit all the time.
Like trash talking.
Yeah. Just like throwing people off their game because then it makes them second guess themselves and get pissed off. Like, no, I got a better spot. Like, why the fuck is this guy? You know, kind of like.
I think the issue is that at higher level, people know that Spencer does it. But if people took him super seriously, then I could see exactly what you're saying. But I think at this point, it's known that like you just consider his whatever he says as like at 50% of what you would consider when someone else says it, basically.
Wow. So never Survivor. I mean, I guess it's getting buffed, but even then, like not Survivor.
I would imagine it's very hard to take this, yeah.
And not pumping up. I mean, pumping up's pretty much only good with Twitch now, right? I guess you can play with Corky.
But yeah, it's worse than Scrap for sure on this patch.
Yeah, so roll left and right.
Nice.
Vi anvils. Probably scout Spencer. See how legit he is.
He is. Because if he's not, you're down for a team building, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like we can have a 3-item Urgot like at carousel.
Yeah.
So, and if we find an Urgot pair, I'm down to just duplicate it and streak like through all of stage 3.
Yeah. I like it. I think eye for towards Scrap could also be an option, but I think the team building option seems better. It's just strictly better in that sense.
Yeah. Especially, we don't really have any Scrap units, right?
Yeah. I forget what Spencer's bot looked like. He just ignored Spencer's. Yeah. That tends to happen. Boy who cried wolf scenario. I mean, this is never Urgot, dude. Like, I mean, you could be here Tristana, but he doesn't have any of the units. Like,
yeah,
you just push him off the line, right?
Yeah.
If he was ever even considering it to begin.
What was the Caretaker's ally?
Oh, let's see.
I guess it doesn't really matter as long as it's not Urgot.
No.
Nocturne, okay. I mean, that's good. Just take more Nocturnes out of the pool.
So or 2 costs. Urgot game into Blistering Strikes, Bad Luck Protection. Looks like he hit on stage 4 pretty early, but he's poor. And this game is I forget now.
Is Bad Luck Protection actually good on Urgot? I assume that's just like a mid pick with no better options.
Let's look at what his options were. I don't think of it as that amazing as well.
He doesn't even have any gloves on Urgot.
Yeah, it's just base AD at this point is what it's giving him.
I would have thought health as wealth.
I was surprised he didn't take health as wealth here. But I think he just wanted the 3rd item on Tristana. But I'm not sure. I'm not really sure.
I see, just the guard breaker on Tristana.
I would have thought health as wealth was better here, but I remember thinking this as well when I took this augment. But I think he takes a bad placement in this game because his whole board is 1 star.
Yeah, especially since he was so. When he took health as wealth, he was still on 6 Urgots, right?
Was he? Yeah.
I feel like that's health as wealth for sure because you get that healing so fast with Urgot.
I think so. He does have a BT on the Urgot, which you typically don't really. He's okay on him, but like he already has healing, I guess. But it's not awful to have more. In my mind, it's better because of the gold. Like maybe just at pure combat value, they're pretty similar in my mind. But you get 15 gold, which I feel like is very like right here. He needs 15 gold to hit Corki 2, Ezreal 2, Swain. I don't know if you want Swain, but like GP 2.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have an Elise, but yeah, I feel like he's lacking. He needs a 15 gold now. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I forget what his reasoning. I don't know if he had reasonings for. If he said it out loud, why he took didn't take health as well. Yeah, I remember him saying like the issue here was not having any of the board 2-starred. The supporting units. Because literally his whole board is 1-starred, right? Or Ezreal, Corki, GP, no Swain. Okay. Let's do. We have 2 more games of replay here. Let's do dankmemes, and then back. Gold sub. Academy is Shojin, Guardbreaker, Stoneplate, Zyra pair, Trundle pair, Steb pair. Zyra 2.
I forgot what the units were. Sorry. It's okay.
Trundle pair, Steb pair. Trundle pair, Steb pair, Zyra 2.
Step 2. First step pairs are 2 with AP items. Oh, if this was replay, we could do the whole Archangel into scrap thing again with thorn-plated armor.
Although I don't know if I've seen him take thorn-plated into scrap.
Oh, right. We just talked about that. Yeah.
But maybe he would do it. I don't know.
So then combine with wasian, then we would do thorn-plated Vi with Archangel.
Yeah. It would be Hodge, but he doesn't have a Hodge holder here. He has an Archangel's holder with Zyra.
I'd probably roll right and left, or right and middle. I mean, and then
yeah,
go from
I
there.
think pretty obvious rolls. Just see.
It's gold sub. We said.
Yeah, gold sub.
Yeah, probably just take thorn-plated armor. We're like close to getting really strong if we can hit a 2-star frontliner.
Yeah, agreed. I think this one's a pretty easy one. It's more interesting what he plays towards here, I think. I forget what he does. He doesn't have the same game plan as the replay in the sense that he's like not as much of a scrap farmer. He plays it a lot still, but he also believes less in the enforcer line, I think. I don't know if we even saw replay play the enforcer line, or if he even did, but he is in his planner a lot, and he talks about it as if it's a plan pretty frequently.
So then by default, assuming it's not the replay strategy, I feel like it's just Academy.
Yeah, given he slammed IE here as well, it's luckily just Academy. Oh, he takes Golem, which is interesting. Golemify, and he. Oh yay! This is actually a very good roll down, I thought. 4-2. He's Golemify, so he's pretty strong. And then here he has no anti-heal. And so he's willing to take this this blue buff, red buff dupe thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's also a little poor because he took Golemify. This one here is pretty. I mean, there's a world where he has Archangel, so you can't even play Twitch here with middle. So you always roll middle.
Yeah.
And right.
1 buff, 2 buff makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's like pretty much like tailor-made for Heimer.
Yeah. Movable, like you could imagine this being good with the Golem, but I mean, your Sentinel is trash. And then on the rest, it's trashing the rest of your board. And then here, I assume he's rolling for the Heimer board, but he's still picking up. Well, you pick up Zoe typically, even in the Heimer board. You don't always play around her, but finds a Jinx.
Oh, so then he goes
as soon as
towards
he finds one Jinx, he's like, all right,
Rebel.
I'm just Rebel. Because he has a dupe, right? All he has to do is find Jinx too. And he has this fat ass golem that he has no Alawi, but it doesn't even matter. For a little bit here, his board is not going to be the worst board in the world.
And blue buff Jinx is actually pretty good too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I assume Shojin's better, but blue buff's still pretty good.
I think so. He Academy Shojin's he just blue buffs the Zoe for now and Shojin's the Jinx. And then I think he ends up finding a Jinx 2-1-8 just because all he has to do is find one Jinx, right, which he does, and then now you're playing for top 2. I think he doesn't win this, unfortunately, because of I forget. Like he's like one round off of winning basically. But takes I think it's a third. Because there's this anger issues there in the lobby.
Isn't that the second time that Spencer hit that?
Anger. This might be the same game.
Okay.
Because we're watching different perspectives of the same day,
Yeah.
So it's. I think this one is the exact same game.
Okay.
Wasian is 4. I think Wasian is playing his Bramble line. So we're just watching different perspectives of the same game.
Do you mind going back to stage or to the Golemify selection? Is it pretty much just like doesn't even matter what your board is, you're on gold sub, so it's just that broken?
Let's see. He has Archangel, right? Like, I feel like when you have Archangel or Rageblade, it makes it so much easier to take this. He has an IE though, mind you, so like he could consider a collector here, but he has no collector holder even though, so like it's a lot less appealing. And also, I feel like collector 3-2 is a lot worse. Like his board state is already like very odd, right?
And he's full streaking, so he's like acknowledging that he's gonna keep up streak.
I think it's not that unreasonable to do that. Like his streak is already like his streak is literally just his augment, right? It's just the one augment, and by the time people add another augment strength onto their board, you're gonna fall off really hard, right? Like this is no longer gonna really win stage 3 unless you have an exceptional board, which he's so far from. He's all up unupgraded, no pairs. Like Zoe is not that amazing for a 4 cost early find. His other options are what again? Let's see. He's adding up their HP or something maybe. I mean, heavily smash. I haven't seen anyone ever take this unless you're playing like vertical bruiser somehow with vertical like bruiser +1. Maybe with Trundle you can take this. I don't really know. But these two on the right initially look untakeable, and then now I feel like there's no option even here really, in my mind. Maybe you could argue all that shimmers is takeable, but I don't think it is in this spot.
He does have IE slammed.
I think it's more so that you don't even proc it at all almost this whole stage because you have it on Zyra. In my mind, like you'll proc it very little, and then your 3-2 your 2-1 augment is an item augment, and your 3-2 augment is also an item augment. I think I've taken this exact combo, if I'm not mistaken. Thorn played it into all that shit.
Then you could pivot towards scrap, right? Like and go towards what rereplay was doing. Archangel.
Oh, I just don't think Bramble is good. I think you're very weak. I just don't think like 2 single item.
Buy Bramble.
I feel like Vi is so much better when you play the board around her. But like on the scrap board, I actually played that exact board. I was Bramble augment with Vi 2 on a scrap board, and somehow it would just die instantly. I don't know why, but the board felt so weak. It must have been that I was just lacking combat augment, is my guess. Mm-hmm. It's also challenging because you typically want to anomaly the Vi, but on the scrap board, it feels very odd to not anomaly the Vi. I think Vi really, really benefits from anomaly. Like all these melee bruiser units. Like the game that Wasian played Vi, he had giant sized on Vi, I think.
I
think. And so then on a scrap board, you're typically like you'll very often take non-Vi anomalies. So now then your Bramble is on just a regular Vi, which is quite a bit. It's also no enforcer as well. but it's lacking some HP. Yeah. Yeah, I think all that shimmers is S tier on 2-1, and like B, or in my mind B or even C tier unless you're super hard committed Twitch, or you already have a core key, stuff like that. In my mind, I could be wrong about that though. But I do think it's way better on 2-1 because of all the gold it can give you. He rolls probably not that much is my guess here. Like probably that's it.
That was a one roll that he did.
Was it just one? It might have been. Literally just enough to buy yeah, literally just enough to buy the units to play on your board. 6 units. You just hope the golem carries you and the archangel carries you, which I assume it does I mean, this guy's board looks pretty weak, but the Smee should kill everything. Unlikely. Like the golem makes it a lot easier to not roll than the dummy because it does damage itself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I assume he loses streak. Yeah, pretty soon though. Cool. Next game, Victor Portal. The board is Trundle, Pear, Stab, Renata, Singed Pear, Darius Pear. I assume he doesn't hold the Renata.
Oh, what? Could have helped Renata in case he had a Cambaron. He really doesn't like Cambaron.
Yeah, I guess not. He has a. This is 2 gold if I remember correctly. Trundle Pear, Powder, Singed Pear. These are his options.
Probably take top of the scrap heap. Or Raining Gold. Roll left. He has 3 scrap units? Or 2 scrap units? Powder and Trundle. I mean, that gives him a 2-star Trundle. And how does top of the scrap heap work again? I feel like I've only taken it once this set.
I think it's so much better when you have 3 scrap instantly because then you start rocking the items instantly. With 2, it does give him Trundle too, which is why I would also slightly consider it. But every component you convert, every 6 components you convert gives you a component.
I see. So once you get 4 scrap, then you can start converting 2 per turn. I see.
3.
Or 3. Okay.
But for comparison, Caretaker's Favor gives you 4 components by leveling. So like, it's even slower in my mind than that. And if you don't have 4 scrap, I feel like it's even slower than that one. Because if you're converting 1 a turn, you don't get your first component until 3-1, 3-2. It also gives you just. Like you're literally your whole augment for the whole stage 2 is literally just Trundle 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So probably Raining Gold.
Yeah, I feel like top of the scrap heap is just not. Yeah, I feel like you have to roll unless you're a 4 scrap.
I feel like so many people take Cloning Facility.
Yeah, 2-1.
Okay, so probably all that shimmers. We got the 2-star Trundle and Singed. Mm-hmm. But it should probably just be Gold Collector into Scrap Corky.
To be Twitch, right? You have a bow.
Oh yeah.
I think Collector makes Twitch quite a bit better. He starts executing stuff and he gives you all this gold to hit the full board, go 9. Could be either, in my mind. And then I forget what he plays this game, but he gets a Rage Blade here, so
okay. Yeah, now it's just Twitch.
You could still play Scrap though. I forget what I assume he plays Twitch here, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, he finds an early Twitch, so then it makes it a lot easier. Caitlyn 2. Oh, he took martial law. That's why. So he had one Caitlyn, and then somehow had Caitlyn 2 and 8, 0.
I mean, he probably had a lot of gold. And prismatic pipeline.
Yeah. And takes a. I forget now. I don't think he won though. Oh no, he did. He did win, I think. Victor against the TF3 board. The fights are really close. They both have
Loris 3.
TF3
and
Loris
Akali.
3. Yeah, Akali 3 Mel. And he wins.
Yeah, that was the Manazane TF.
Oh yeah, replay missed the line. And then last game, we're gonna jump to it here. This is the final game of the tournament. Oh yeah, I spoiled the take. You already missed it. You forgot. You didn't see it.
Yeah, I actually didn't see it.
Okay, good. It is Warwick.
Oh, of course, Warwick. I didn't actually see this last game.
Okay. Rod, Cloak, Warwick encounter. Violet to Leona. Vlad, Darius, Draven, Lux, Mumu pair.
Not aerial warfare. Spear's Will probably is the strongest immediately. Slam. Either BT or Edge of Night. I mean, we could just go towards Urgot. Too much value better, or is Starry Night better for Urgot? I assume
the issue is, in my mind, it's Warwick, and your Urgot items are also very mid here.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's true.
The Rod makes it quite a bit bad. I don't consider these left two options as very takeable.
Okay, so it's just Spear's Will Slam, like
between the two,
BT.
though. I think Starry Night is better. I'm not sure though. Actually, and it's hard to say. I think if you benefit from the two costs being given to you, too much value could be better. But if not, then Starry Night's better. I kind of don't like Spear's Will as well though. But because then it's just it is strongest. But I mean, as we've said before, like if it just loses to any other strong, like you lose to Portable Forge, you lose to Bramble, Augment. But I mean, to be fair, I don't like any of these anyway.
I mean, probably to the point that we discussed earlier, like if Starry Night and Too Much Value are at least close in value, even if you prefer Starry Night slightly, you still roll it.
You can always roll it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely not that. Yeah, I consider just rolling right, because it's like Spear's Will. Yeah, makes you. I feel like if you could slam 2 full items right now on Violet, then that would be worth.
I agree with that. But you
like,
can, but like you're not happy with any 2 slams.
Yeah.
Spark, no. Crown Guard, no. Gunblade, Stone Plate, no.
Yeah. There's so maybe just roll right and
pray.
Yeah, and I guess Urgot's worst case.
His face. Final lobby of the tournament, and your options are in a Warwick portal are Scrapper and Pumping Up.
And
he already knows. He basically lost the tournament on this, right?
Pumping Up.
I don't know.
Scrap. Pumping Up.
I have no
Twitch.
Showing me these 3 options, I don't even know what
I guess it's probably Lost Streak Twitch, right? And then use the Rod for bow.
Yeah. I guess it does give you some strength right now, right? I just don't know what here represents anything, because Scrapper you can't take in this portal. I don't think. The items are so bad as well. This is like the mix of the worst items this patch and the worst augments for this portal. So
his face,
I don't know.
it's hilarious.
Yeah, I feel really bad for him here because his whole tournament's decided on Warwick's portal, and he gets the worst items and really bad.
Was he in the running for first here?
Yeah, he goes second or first, he wins.
Oh,
I think second maybe he doesn't, but if he took a first, he would win the whole thing. And
yeah, it makes sense why he would go on a rant about this encounter.
Yeah, I think he did. He responded to a Reddit thread, which was another player who was not in the final lobby was complaining about portals, and he was like resonating, which I mean he should.
Yeah,
from this experience. I don't know. It's possible there's a too much value line here where you get you. The thing is, does he even have any 2 costs? He doesn't, right?
Like knowing he needs to get first or second, like it makes like the Urgot line doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, so it's either you Scrapper or you pumping up, and I guess he's just saying pumping up he likes better than forward Scrapper. But
it's like, what do you have win out potential with here? Like
Warwick's encounter and not like basically nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, none of the other augments are better, but here you're just praying for like a Twitch on stage 2 or something. But I mean, it's Warwick. He just goes straight 8th, like uncontested 8th. Corky 2, stage 4, Rumble, and he is dead on stage 4. And that's his whole tournament.
Oh my god!
He's like, bro, what? He's also Alawi 2, Corky 2.
Oh, that's so
and
sad.
the other guy's 40 gold. Smeech 3, 40 gold. It's just, I mean, I laugh at it. If I was in this spot, I'd be so upset. But it's like,
yeah,
there's really nothing you can do.
Oh man, I feel so bad for him.
Yep. I think those are all the games we had. Did I have? No, I had 2 more replay games, I think. Yeah, 2 more replay games.
Right, back to the Scrap and Enforcer Reflect.
Scrap Enforcer Farmer. This one was, I think I said gold sub. Ready to Lux to Urgot. A lot of Urgots out. Spencer calling Urgot.
This might be a repeat of the other. Okay. Sorry, I lost track of the units again.
No worries. Maddie 2, Lux 2, pretty strong backliners. Maddie 2, Lux 2, Urgot.
A weak front line, but good strong backline.
He does, right?
With the Titans? I mean, maybe it's just not enough time.
Yeah.
Or maybe Spencer swayed him.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. So we have Maddie 2, Lux 2 with like no frontline pairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is a gold sub. Okay.
Gold sub.
Right, roll left. I feel like without any like 2-star frontliner, I feel like usually you want like tank items, traditional front to back with the
early game. I agree with that. Yeah, I think it's very rollable here. The most rollable of these 3.
What doesn't kill you? I mean, it's not like we're super weak. Like we could definitely kill units. Probably not strong enough to contest a win streak, but not like horrible. So I'd probably roll left and middle. Yep. Plus, we already have gold sub, so it's like we don't need more gold. So yeah, roll left, middle, and then always duplicate like a Lux 2 for cloning facility in the beginning if we want. From here, inspiring epitaph is like it's like mid. I feel like cloning. This might be one of those situations where it's like cloning facility is slightly better than inspiring, but like maybe we can high roll like one of the top tier gold augments that we were talking about?
Is it? I feel like.
Or is cloning facility one of the elite ones?
If I were to agree with you that cloning is in the same tier as Epitaph, then I think you roll right. I forget what he does here, to be honest. But for me, it's not so much a cloning facility is an elite augment. It might be, but in my mind, I would not be willing to settle for Epitaph because Epitaph is not in the same tier as cloning facility. For me, cloning facility is at worst like middle of the line on 2-1 or like slightly above average, and Epitaph is easily below the line in my mind on 2-1.
Okay.
In my mind, I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe he rolls here with that logic in mind. But in my mind, Epitaph is just so unacceptable on 2-1.
Oh.
I feel like this is just like it's just they're on different categories.
Would that be?
Yeah, go ahead.
Would that be different if you don't have any 2-stars here? Because then your cloning facility is not really getting that much value.
I would have rolled cloning facility over what doesn't kill you if I had no 2-stars here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would have rolled that first, I think, and I would have left this.
Okay.
But assuming that I didn't have what doesn't kill you there, I've been in those spots. I really, really don't like spots where I take a global combat and use it as a means to spike. I've done it quite a few times now. I feel like I go 8th so often in those spots where you have no board and you take global combat and you just say, I will get value out of it on 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
Because these augments are not strong enough to be true comeback augments. Like true comeback augments are like pumping up or scoreboard scrapper.
Yeah, something that actually scales over time.
Yeah. Global combat ones, they have to be balanced, right? Like an Epitaph used to be maybe like really broken, like way back, but I feel like in this current state, it's just like a good board wide combat augment that has value late, like on 4-2, but not really. Maybe on 3-2 with some melee lines, but not really even then. So, yeah. What do you think he plays here?
I mean, unit wise, like Academy on board, but on bench. Also, Academy doesn't really have a great unit to duplicate. I feel like almost everyone I see going cloning facility wants to put Vi there.
Yeah, and the CP of the extra Vi.
Yeah, so like he does have Enforcer on bench. He make 10 here? 3, 4, 5, 6. Could make 10 if he wins. And we don't know what Academy is. Like the items.
Yeah. I forget if he checked. We can look.
Like he doesn't really have slammable items either.
Oh really? I feel like,
or like I guess if he wants slam, like strongest board right now would be Shiv probably.
I feel like it's almost a mandatory Shiv. If he levels, which he did, in my mind, it's almost a mandatory Shiv slam. If you're gonna level like this. I could be wrong. I don't think it's very acceptable though to like not.
Because if you slam Shiv, like you're just accepting late game, you're just not gonna get much value out of the cloning facility. I guess you could put like a Jace there or something. A Corki.
He slams a Shiv. You can always put a 2-star Sentinel unit is still beefy, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, 2-star Sentinel unit is still. I'm pretty sure he ends up. Yeah, this game, I think because of this Shiv slam. Which I don't think is ever wrong. He's forced to play out of his line, yeah. Which is I don't think he likes playing Academy, and he does play Academy, and he ends up cloning an Alawi. He makes a pretty big mistake here in that he doesn't know how cloning facility works with bulky buddies.
Oh, it doesn't count it.
It doesn't count. It like you can cheat it you can give it HP by putting it next to a unit, but by putting it next to. It's really dumb, like way it works. But like, Leona is not getting bulky buddies here, and neither is the Alawi. But if you had 2 units next to each other, like this, where Aurelia and Loris both get it, and if you put this clone Alawi next to one of these, then all 3 would get it.
Huh? How does that make any sense?
If it doesn't make sense to you, like in terms of how I'm saying it, how it even works, just mess around with it on your board, and you'll see when you have clone. But right here. These guys both are not getting it. You basically need the clone. This also works with Scion and dummies. You need the clone or the Scion or the dummy to be next to a valid pair, but only one of them. If for example, the Laui was next to both Loris and Aurelia, the clone will never affect the 2 units, but it itself only gets it if it's next to one unit that is adjacent to another unit.
That's so weird. Okay.
And if you ever forget the rule, just futz around with it. Just remember there are weird rules with Ghosts and Scion and Dummy, and futz around with it until you see the right effect. It's much easier to see with Prismatic because the HP bar jumps are so big. And here you know for sure that Leon is not getting. I think I was in his chat in this game, and I was like, obviously he can't read chat during the game, but like after the game, I was like, hey, I think you missed the bulky buddies rule, and he's like, oh, I didn't know, and yeah, which is surprising. The thing is, Corky is Heimer is so worthless in this line, especially these are your items.
Yeah, no Archangel, no Poopa.
Yeah, and so I think he takes easily a bot 4 here. If I'm not mistaken. I mean, we can just see the game play out. He's duping a LeBlanc too. I mean, not bad value, but I mean, this guy's BD Twitch 3-item LeBlanc 2, which is a good secondary or a good main carry basically now at this point. Next to it's Ezreal.
Like knowing that it's a 6 here, like would
he's facing the dankmemes Jinx too, which we saw earlier.
Yeah. Like would having gone at 2-1, he could have just stuck with the enforcers and not tried to play tempo. Like would his AV average AVP have been higher?
This lobby is so strong, man. This is the anger issues Spencer game.
Oh,
this is the Jinx 2 dank memes game. This is the Urgot Wasian game. I feel like he could have gone 8th.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I could be wrong. But like just no slam is so unacceptable in my mind. When you have the ability to like kill all these units, potentially even streak. I mean, it's unlikely you streak, but like you can in some lobbies.
What was his? Can you go to end of stage 2? Like how many rounds did he lose?
We can look after. But the issue is like as soon as you run into this, you're screwed, right? This is BD with 2-star Darius. He killed the Darius because of the shift slam, so it's already +1 HP here. And then here he fought this. That's exactly what you were saying, right? You never beat the tempo, so you never beat this. This is the Wasian guy. This is the Wasian buy game actually.
Yeah.
You never ever beat this stage 2.
So knowing
you also never beat BD.
Right? Knowing that you like, because he lost that BD fight by like 2 or 3 units, and he's like easily losing this fight. So like knowing that, I feel like you can make an argument that maybe he shouldn't have slammed Shiv, and that doesn't lock him into Academy.
How does he know that he's gonna fight Trundle this fight? Like,
yeah,
let's say he's guaranteed to win 2-3, 2-5, and 2-6. You always slam Shiv here because you get +1 HP and you win anyway, right? 2-3, 2-5, 2-6. But if you know for a fact you're gonna fight 2 strongest in the lobby back to back, then yeah, then I agree with you. But like, how are you supposed to know that? He even kills 1 unit here. I don't know if it's because of the Shiv, but he does kill the Rennie. Right? Maybe the Shiv procs allow him to kill it. I don't know if that's true though.
Is like saving 2 HP worth getting locked into a line where you're basically wasting the cloning facility later? I mean, it's not full waste, but
I don't think he's wasting cloning facility. I don't think he is. Especially if he has bulky buddies. I feel like the cloning facility is far from the reason his board state is not good. If anything, I feel like his board state is not even awful, but the lobby is just a bit too strong. And he's looking at the replay. But yeah, I don't like this board. I mean, LeBlanc 2, level 9, Alawi 2 combat augments that are pretty good. I mean, he needs a Jace to like be truly, truly strong. But to me, this doesn't look like god awfully weak. Whatever he's fighting here looks god awfully weak. But Darius 3, no, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Sis is a good player, so maybe he had a reason to go for this line. But yeah.
Good.
I think one more game. This is Crab Rave. Powder pair, Trundle, Vex pair. What does he sell here? What do you sell here to buy? Assuming you want to buy these, what do you sell?
Probably the Vexes. Vexes. We want to buy powders. I mean, we can even play like 3 family if we hit powder 2.
I'm pretty sure you do play it, yeah, because you also have Darius pair.
Yeah.
You find 1 Draven, you have like the actual family board. You don't play it like play the line, but you play the units.
Just sell like the Singe for the Trundle and then buy the other stuff. Actually, do you even need to? Because you're gonna get gold for. You could put 1 unit in and then. Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's more so for me that I don't want to lose units from the orbs. Like I have to sell here in my mind, because if I don't, then I just turn all my orbs into gold, which is worse than holding. Like I'd probably sell the Rel and and maybe even the. I probably doesn't want to sell Maddie because he likes Enforcer, but I don't think Maddie's that good here because you have Rod Chain. No.
Yeah. So are you? So you don't like the idea? Because I feel like if you happen to hit a Raven and you hit a Conqueror emblem, like that's.
The Rel is potentially worth something.
Yeah, or even like just 2-star Darius, like you can get the 2 gold with the Conqueror.
That's true. Yeah, so maybe selling Rel is wrong here.
I feel like
for sure.
I would sell Singe and like the Vexes, because Vex will lead you down AP, right? You don't really want to play AP this patch.
I mean, you could put it on the, like you could play it in this line of where he plays AP and then pivots it into Echo, right?
Right. Which you can get with like Lux too as well, right? Like you prefer Lux too over.
Oh, I prefer whichever is 2-star, which why I feel like I would rather hold the pairs, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, I think with time now I would sell Singed and Maddie, and then I'd have 4 bench slots, which allows me to hold. I want to hold all 5 is the issue, right?
Right.
So that's why I'm parting with Rel.
Okay.
But maybe that's wrong. Maybe you're meant to part with the Vex. Let's see what he does. You could also just part with your orbs, right? It's hard to say. Either way, you're parting with something. He gives up the Vex, so he's on the same page as you.
Huh? Did he not buy what? Oh, okay, he's making time.
He doesn't buy the Trundle? Wow. I would have thought he sells Maddie for Trundle here.
Not called shot. Probably just take Latent Forge and do the flex between Ambushers and Urdot.
These items make that so hard though now.
Yeah. Although you're like kind of sacking early game anyway, right? So it does lead towards. I was gonna say it might lead towards Ambushers more with the rod, but I mean you could still do Tristana. I feel like power up. I mean, Mort made the post, right? Like power up even at 2-1 is not very good.
Yeah,
in the stats.
Yeah, I believe. But I think it's because there's so many niche prismatic augments that it's so easy to get forced to take such a weird take. Like if your prismatic options are sponging, anger issues, some trash ass +1 that you didn't even intend to tailor for, sword overflow, rod overflow, you already want to FF.
Yeah.
Your whole silver turned into a bunch of trash. That's why I think power up's really bad. Not even because it's inherently like a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you roll right 2 here for sure, right?
Yeah.
Like mandatory.
I'd probably still take Latent Forge.
I agree. I just don't think you have to play the reroll lines, but then maybe because I've watched this guy too much now.
There's censor again. Okay, he's like for real this time. I like how he has to caveat that.
Caretakers, yeah, exactly. Every fucking game he's typing the same thing, dude. Here's a family. Would you level here for Darius?
I don't think so.
I don't think I would either. I'm pretty sure I would just.
I mean, we want better one cost odds. Where our augment's not doing anything until stage 3. Just
yeah,
econ, right?
Yeah, I think so. Would you sell anything here?
I would try to make 20 and hold the Nocturne. Basically, hold Ambushers, Nocturne, and Urgot lines. And like, I feel like I would just not care about HP right now.
Oh, you would just full sack for the 2 costs.
Because like, I guess we can kill units, but we're not winning fights with this board, right?
I feel like the issue is what happens if you don't hit a single. Aren't you straight 8th if you don't hit a single Nocturne or Camille Augment? And like, I can see your logic with that, but you are not guaranteed to hit a single good artifact. Like, okay, maybe you could argue that Wasian's game plan was that, and maybe if he missed on all his artifacts, he was 8th. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like if you truly full sell everything, I don't think this board is that far from. Maybe I'm watching it. I'm saying that with hindsight of seeing how he played this, but I don't think this board is that. He's Darius, almost Darius too, and he is. I think Powder is actually a lot better than.
Yeah, I feel like I would be defaulting to the Ambusher line here, and then probably trying to hold Nocturne.
See how he
Crown Guard.
He actually, he was about to slam, and in fact, I'm pretty sure from remembering this game, he does slam.
Okay.
And what does that mean? He's playing Kilburns.
Scrap. I mean, this seems like Ambusher or Scrap to me.
Yeah, he's just using this as a. I mean, you could either Ambusher, yeah, exactly, Ambusher or Scrap, and you could just go for Echo, I guess. Right? If you're Ambusher, you're like playing the 4-cost Ambusher line, I guess.
Yeah.
But he uses this Powder to mixed streak, kill units, which I don't think is bad when you know that it's Crab Rave, right? Like, mixed streak is never that ideal, but when it's Crab Rave, like, I think the full sacking your whole board when it's Crab Rave isn't that worth. Well, not because of the crab, but because you already get so much gold from the crab orbs, such that like the HP saved in my mind is way more valuable than the gold you save.
I see.
Yeah, like he did full sack and then he gets this gold orb of all gold. It feels so bad because then you're barely ahead of the lobby. I mean, you are, but like not by that big of an advantage. Yeah, and now he's able to make these units, and like, yeah, he's not gonna win streak at all, but like, this board isn't killing 0. I guess it's our last game. We can just watch through all of it if you're interested. I thought this was an interesting way to play this line anyway. So
it seems like a pretty good items for just ambushers. Oh, I mean even Scrap.
For ambushers as well, yeah.
For ambushers, I mean I guess we're missing swords and tiers, but Titans for if I'm playing the ambusher line, you can play Slam Guardbreaker. I'm playing Scrap, be Last Whisper.
Yeah.
Like
I think Guardbreaker is usually
Sunfire.
strongest now on the powder, and then the rest of them I think is a little harder, but
yeah,
you don't know what the rest of them would be. I think Guardbreaker's up. Guardbreaker, Scrap, Glove, and then you're left with
Titans.
Titans is so bad in Scrap though.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would slam here. You could also slam Guardbreaker, Scrap something else, and slam a Last Whisper. But
also slam Sunfire too. Although I guess with Powder you don't really need that right now.
Yeah, I kind of don't want the Sunfire. It's also not even that ideal in the Scrap line. Like, yeah, if you don't hit Rumble, you really want it until you make it often early game. But I feel like right now is the spot where you don't make it because you have the Powder.
What do you do with that vest? Like, you got killed somehow, right?
Not really. You just scrap it, right?
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, you don't have to kill. Yeah. I would think it's always guard, but
Yeah, makes sense to me.
But then the rest of your items are so sad at the moment. Just no slam everything else, I guess. That's what he does, yeah. Oh. So rain is definitely scrap. You contested scrap, but you're crab brave, so you're still expected to hit. Thoughts here?
I mean, eye for an eye with the scrap line seems good. Last cannon on scrap, if we didn't have eye for an eye, it's like I didn't really think about that before, but like because scrap just you have so much shield, so you're not as worried about your backliners dying. Like
the issue is then you're only getting it on your. I feel like your main unit in scrap is Echo.
That's true.
And so then you'd have to backline Echo, which gets him to cast so much.
Yeah, they say eye for an eye. Go scrap.
Did he slam? Oh, he slammed Last Whisper. I wonder why. What changed?
And now he's going scrap. Whereas before he could have still gone ambushers, right?
Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah. Now that he knows, okay, that's true. That's true because of this augment. Yeah. Yeah, I think if he had played the 2-cost reroll away that you had suggested, he would probably be like closer to 40 HP here. I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean, I think if you know for a fact you're going to hit on your artifact, maybe he's not even that bad.
You have a lot of artifacts you could hit, right? Between like Innervating Locket, just any of the ranged Nocturne, any of the like broken melee stuff for ambushers. Like that's probably like half of the, or at least a third of the artifacts, right?
I wonder how much of it is Portal because Wasian kind of played that way, right? He didn't full open, but he was like, it must have been that Wasian already had the 2-cost. I guess to be fair,
he saw like at least 2 Nocturnes, I feel like.
But the issue is he didn't have items to put on him to get him to save HP, right? If you go back to the Wasian game, he had Urgot with Titan's Cloak and another. He started making items on the Urgot, right? So like the Urgot was basically his way to save HP. Whereas here you would be doing just Nocturne and no HP saves, I think. Because his items were rod, chain, glove. So he would just be making an IE, and then rod and chain, neither of them even really turn into a Nocturne item. So it'd be really hard to even have 2-item Nocturne by
I guess with that logic, it's much easier to flex between ambushers and Urgot than with Nocturne, because Nocturne you don't really want the like healing. Just want sword damage items.
I don't even know if he had either of those is the issue. I don't know if he found a single Camille. Or he would have. I think he would have held Camille because he has Ambusher right here.
Yeah.
And he also would have bought. I don't know if he would have bought. If he could have bought Urgot, but he didn't have an Urgot. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, instead now he ends up with 64 HP, and then he takes a Vi with Rod, Mordekaiser.
I mean, Mordekaiser Zonia is completely broken with Crown Guard and QSS. But I mean, I feel like we probably still want to stick with the game plan of scrap. Although I feel like that Mordekaiser could just like carry you now.
I thought this was super interesting, but yes and yes.
But so? If we want to do tricksters, okay. I was gonna say we could still do the trickster scrap thing.
Yes, and yes. So why not both? You have Dom on the board. You have Dom on the board with Ziggs.
Oh yeah.
So he just plays both, which I really like.
Yeah, I mean this Mordekaiser should just full streak you for a while.
Yeah, Mord 1 with 3 items, and then he rolls 4-1 because it's Crab Rave.
Guardbreaker better than Crown Guard in this situation, or is he just didn't want to burn? I mean, he has enough removers.
I like Guardbreaker better because it gives him AS, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it gives him some AS, which is what he really wants. More, I think it's better than Crown Guard. What do you take here?
Not Dominator, Rest. Cloning facility with okay. Just powered shields.
I think so. I think it has to be powered shields.
I was gonna say cloning facility with the scrap, like what we discussed earlier, putting it on like Echo.
I think that would have been my take if I didn't have if I didn't have powered shields. I think I would have taken that as well for sure. What's interesting to me here is that he keeps the items on powder 1. I would have always thought you itemize the echo here. But instead he puts Titans on Echo, which I guess because he knows he has this Mort, he's fine with like very mid Echo items. It must also be that he sees Rain has a lot of Echoes, is my guess. Does he see that? I don't know, because I don't understand why he's not itemizing Echo here.
Yeah, that is odd.
The powder's doing 2k, the Echo's doing 1.4.
I guess he also doesn't have Firelight in. I don't know if that makes a difference for Echo.
Typically, you don't play the Echo. You don't play Firelight for the Echo in Force Crop, right? He's also interestingly dropping Tristana here for. We're not dropping, but not playing Tristana in lieu of Conquer Emissary for the.
That makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah, because his carry is more so than the Corki. Oh, I guess yeah. So he's never hitting Echo. Oh, he's unlikely to hit Echo. 4 Echoes out here.
And Echo's like a lot better with healing, I feel like.
Then
so if that's
not necessarily true. If you look at Echo items, they're I think Echo's actually a lot better with
it's pure damage.
Full damage, yeah. Especially in Scrap because he has a shield, right?
Oh,
if anything, BT is one of his worst items in Scrap because he doesn't even need to heal because he doesn't even do anything the first like 10 seconds of the fight.
Right, filter 6 Scrap instead of like the Ambusher line.
Yeah, exactly. Let's like force it to be 2 Ambusher. Wait, I thought BT was not good. Never mind. Maybe I'm lying to you. Yeah, okay, it is. 3 items here. 3 items. You'll see Death Cap and I know GS is insane. I don't know why, but GS is so insane in the stats.
Like Gunblade and Hodge are really strong.
Hodge is more so because it's a crit item. I don't know why Gunblade is really good. GS really good. Crown Guard, actually not that bad. I thought it was worse than that. BT bad. Death Cap good. Archangel is mid. But yeah, to me the Gunblade is very odd. It's one of his highest win rate items as well. But what if you exclude Rumble? Like there's a chance that a lot of these are saying that you got to Rumble, you got to move items to Rumble. If you exclude Rumble 2, maybe you can allow Rumble 1 in here, but Rumble Echo 2-star, exclude Rumble 2-star. This is like still a good number of games.
Yeah, the Gunblade win rate without the exclusion was like 30%, so that seems to make
super
sense.
high. It's the highest one across all these items. Guard Breaker is one of his best items. GS one of the best items. Death Cap very good. But Gunblade is consistently like quite good, which is odd to me.
Yeah. Seems like moving the Crown Guard over would have made sense.
To the Echo, right? From the powder.
But Echo 1 does a lot of work.
Yeah. His powder's not doing that much damage. Like powder is okay. It did 4K. Never mind. maybe it's actually good. I don't know. And then what does he do with the belt? Nothing. He'll scrap it on the Corki eventually.
Oh, I would not have taken this in this spot. But maybe I'm just reading Anomaly too much.
I guess because he's going 9, he's going to add in like Elise. It's a lot of amp, right?
And he just values the gold a lot more to hit Mordekaiser too. Like that's his win con, not having the perfect Anomaly.
Yeah, I think this Anomaly is already good, right? As well. Yeah, he 3 items the powder here. And then
when you're going fast 9, like just picking the first, like it doesn't even need to be average. It could be slightly below average, just not a bad Anomaly is good enough when you're going fast 9.
How do you do the items here?
We want to just scrap every unit, right? Because like every scrap is a 50 shield. So that's 4 scrap. Okay, so we basically just scrap the rest and put the belt.
So just and you would scrap, but aren't you one component left? Oh yeah, you could. Yeah, you would do a belt, corky, and then one item on everything else.
Yeah. Belt, corky, belt. Belt what? Like the trundle.
Sword or bow the GP, and then the other thing on Ziggs. The issue is that better than hyper optimizing like GS, corky, last whisper the GP.
Belt is guaranteed guard breaker on corky, right?
Yeah. So you could easily upgrade from last whisper IE to IE GS.
Oh.
On GP.
Then you're losing 100 shield value. I feel like the 100 shield value might be more. That's 100. Wait, 100 shield per unit, right?
On every unit, yeah. On every unit.
I mean that's like 800 shield value gone, right? I feel like that probably
losing to each component is how much? Is it 75?
No, it's 50.
50 per. You lose 2 components per. I think it's 50. So then you lose 800 shield to have a GS on the corky instead of a last whisper.
And we can always like move that later, right? Like once we get to carousel, get a better corky item.
The issue is you want the next item to be an echo item. But I guess that could also be the same in the other scenario. But yeah, I'm not sure.
Like is corky with a GS instead of a last whisper going to deal more than that 800 damage in difference?
800 shield. The question is, I guess we're powered shields. The question is, are we lacking DPS? And I feel like the answer is a little. At this stage of the game with Echo 1, GP 1.
And when we hit our board, I still feel like it's going to be about Mordekaiser 2. And you want more shield surrounding him for him to just like go to town.
Is that true? I mean, okay, if you had Mordekaiser 2, then yeah, then I would agree. Yeah. If you had Mordekaiser 2, I want more shield. Which I guess I don't know if you're meant to play around knowing you're gonna hit it,
but also guillotine.
Whoa. Also, if you slam the GS right now, then you permanently lose the scrap. Like you can't scrap like the individual components anymore. Whereas
literally ever. That's true. That's true.
Whereas you can get items on carousel and on.
That's a good point. And you lose 100 shield on whole board, and it also powered shields, right? Which is even more incentive. Okay, maybe you do just scrap it. Whoops, I'm on the wrong tab.
Oh, is he thinking about doing what you said?
I forget now if I saw it and that's why I'm saying this, and I'm just like cheating by suggesting it as my own idea. But I'm not sure anymore because there's so many games I looked through. But I mean, as I discussed it with you, I'm not even sure if both he and I are right now, because I feel like the argument for losing a ton of shield also.
Like I feel like this is definitely stronger now, but if this goes back to the whole rain thing, right? Like if you're playing, I feel like he could play for first, and if he's playing for first, then like preserving the scrap value has a higher cap. And I don't think that was fight diff, right? Like he won this pretty easily. Like even the corky damage output was like still less than the more.
Was it? Oh yeah, it was quite a bit less. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. Yeah, I'm really not sure. I feel like I could see your argument. Over, I've never seen this Mord board, so it's just over. Oh whoa. Oh, but now you could play Tristan. Oh, I see. That's why the Corky H damage is a little underwhelming. It's because he doesn't have Tristan. I don't know if you'd ever downgrade to Tristana from an Ambassador 2, but I just realized that's why. This Mord is such a monster, man. That 1-star with freestyling.
I mean, I feel like with suboptimal items, Corky's like dealing, I don't know, 1k less damage.
Yeah. And so is that 1k worth the rest of the items, right?
And particularly given that your Mordekaiser's the vast, like half of your team's damage, like don't you just want more shield time for him to like keep hitting?
Yeah, unless you yeah, I feel like the shield is better now that I think about it.
And we're not even accounting for the powered shields in that 800 shield analysis.
Yeah, it's a little more than that even. This guy's holding 2 more. It's Ripple, his study group study buddy. Yeah, and he takes a man. That's so sad that you're gated out of Mord 2 because you win out. I'm pretty sure if you hit this Mord 2.
That's like my trait tracker game from the other day that we reviewed.
Oh, he has to sell a Rumble. I mean, you have to just optimize the items here.
Huh?
He thinks it's just faster to just he offers burner remover, I guess. Unclear why he had to do that, but you have to put these on ASAP because it counts for the shield, right? Yeah, he just put it on whoever.
Did TG on powder over Ambessa? Because the shield only counts scrap unit items?
No, it counts everyone. But I think he just wanted to put it on something ASAP, right? Because he's trying to put it on Ilaoi actually, but because there's not enough time, you have to put it before the shield is computed.
Yeah, I never understood why do some of the units load before others? Like that makes no sense to me. like what?
Yeah. Where the hell is Ilaoi?
Yeah.
What? If you want to Zephyr something, for example, it makes it really annoying. Like, yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, there's it's a 2-phased load, right?
Yeah, and if you knew that those were the like components you would want it on Ambessa, right?
This is pretty fucking good on powder, right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Ambessa with no. Ambessa is such a piece of shit with like not on this patch. I feel like I don't really believe in this unit.
Okay, no quick striker either. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because powder is not even bad. I feel like you get it to cast if you cast twice.
Yeah, cast once.
It didn't cast twice there though. I mean, he wins this. Jinx too.
Okay, I mean the better items maybe helped in that fight for Corky.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know now. Rumble too.
So sad.
And he loses because Ripple held his Mords. Ripple went 6th anyway. Oh, the Corky's actually highest DPS here, but I guess it's because he's facing a comp that bursts down his.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is really strong. Spencer winning with. What did he play here? Oh, Urgot with Jace 2 backline down. Urgot, but for real this time.
Yeah. He had caretakers, so he didn't need to actually stay at 6 and roll.
Yeah, that's how he got to the Jace 2 down. All right. I think those are all the games we have. Any main learnings from these games?
I think the big one is the whole idea of if you have an augment that you're leaning towards selecting, but there is maybe another augment that's in the same tier but slightly worse, it's probably still worth rolling it for finding like a tier higher augment. Which implies that you need to know what is in that tier higher, which I don't think I've done enough. I think that's another learning now that I'm like, okay, Thor-plated armor, Full-Amify, Dumbify, Cloning Facility, Too Much Value with Urgot are all like kind of that level. So I think like future patches or where augments are adjusted, I'd probably just need to do this type of analysis more often. Item augments, are just going to be stronger for tempo early game, and then especially in this patch, at least it transitions really well into scrap. So like that was a line that seemed like replay really liked, and I forget if there were like one or two other players that liked that line.
Yeah, just like a eye for an eye.
Yeah.
Even like using basically even like a latent forge as like a +1 item, like sure, whatever, like it's good for the line. There are many good hits anyway.
Yeah. And then the latent forge wasian flex approach.
Yeah, I like that one as well. I mean, I think that one is a little more
item dependent
than the replay game because he had the unit, so you could save HP.
Right.
But I agree with you that he didn't hyper tunnel on one particular one in order to have more outs.
Yeah. Like it's interesting on the item augments. Just following up on that. Usually it's like when you think about taking item augments, it's you have a strong early game and then your value kind of decreases over time. But with scrap, that prevents that like downside in the late game.
Yeah. Although we never saw someone take like the really bad item augments into. We didn't see anyone take Bramble into scrap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gotta.
I'm not sure though. I mean, I in my mind it doesn't sound great, but it could still be good. I think those ones where it's like one singular item with a gold augment start to become a little more questionable. Like the other one would be like the spark augment. Is that's probably acceptable in my mind. Like that one to me is more than good enough if it gave me a streak and I'd be willing to play scrap because it does a lot for your board, right?
What else? Golemfy and Dumbify are really good with scaling items.
Mm-hmm. I felt like people were very like everyone had a very clear game plan and tried to really play like within it. Like I think the times people deviated is also very insightful to me. The times people deviated are when they found 5 costs. Early 5 costs. So replay deviated from his traditional scrap line when he found a 5 cost, and then and 5 costs with items for it, and then dankmemes also deviated from the academy line when he found the jinx. As soon as he found a jinx, he's like, okay, I'm playing jinx now. Like he completely ditched his academy line. Which to be fair, if you're playing academy, you're always happy to ditch it anyway. This patch,
yeah.
But it's insightful to me in that sense. I think Setsuko also does that a lot. He finds one early 1-star 5 cost on like 4-1 or 4-2, and he's opting to play around that unit instead of playing a cookie cutter B tier line. Everyone really liked Collector, right?
Mm-hmm.
Collector artifact on 2-1. That one is pretty obvious, I think. Vanilla Urgot was played a lot, right?
Yeah. You can hit out of tempo.
With the reroll augments.
Yeah, I feel like I was mainly playing Urgot from like Unleash the Beast spot, but I guess I should try to get more.
That's what I thought as well. But it looks like these guys don't. I mean, you definitely want that, but if you don't have it, I think it's more so that the vanilla cookie cutter lines are so bad this patch that you have to just play these. I think this patch started out with me thinking that there were many playable lines, and in reality, if people play correctly and narrowly, there are only a few that are like on the same tier.
Yeah. The suspicious trench coat with the Mbessa that replay went. I feel like it's just.
That was hard to know.
Yeah, this is. I have been meaning this whole patch to like actually do my whole artifact analysis again, and if I had done that, I would be like, "Oh, okay, that's still viable." But I didn't actually do that work yet, and
I don't even know if that was actually viable, right? He hit 9 conquer and won out with that.
Oh, so that's true.
Who even knows if that was a real line? I don't know. I have no I mean, I'm not saying in either direction. I just don't know based on that one game.
Yeah. The tricksters in the cloning facility with scrap also.
Scrap, yeah, I like that. That's a good take. On the especially the 2-1. What is that augment called? Living Forge can be quite good. There are actually many hits, right? He did Fishbone's Corky. If you find a Mordekaiser, like now we know, you can even just Living Forge your Mordekaiser. I mean, he latent forged it, but you Living Forge it as well if you find one early. Obviously, there's more Echo artifacts. From what I know, I think Sniper's Echo is actually insane. I don't know why. It must just be that having amp on that unit is really good because he gets crit, give him some stats, and then
all the ranged items can go on Mordekaiser too. Just like move Nocturne to Mordekaiser.
RFC. Yeah, I think that one's a little more conditional because you have to have a Mord to take, and you're taking your next Living Forge on 3-5, right?
Right.
3-6. So it's hard to really take a Mord one there. What else can you do? You can take a Rumble one, but it's kind of hard as well if you're taking it on 3-6. But yeah, I think in general, like Living Forge is quite good with Scrap. Like if you don't have if on 2, I think it's still better to take a very directional one like Nocturne or Urgot one or Camille one or Sneech one. But if you have only generic stuff, then it's totally fine to take, like as rereplay did, Tricksters into with tempo into Scrap.
Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, anything else you learned that stood out to you that we didn't cover here?
More along the lines of sticking with game plans, just like there's the game where we replay slammed Archangel and played Echo with Archangel, which stood out to me a little bit because I feel like Archangel, I would typically pilot that into Heimer.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because he did end up playing one Heimer game, right? He played the Heimer game with the Alawi cloning facility. He only played that when he was forced to slam Shiv early. And then I guess he just didn't find the Echo. I forget exactly why, but you can still play Shiv with Scrap, but it just makes it makes me want to like open my mind up more to like non-traditional slams to play into lines that I know are good for sure. Like Scrap is good for sure. Like, are you able to play into it with Shiv opener and Archangel opener? Like, I guess I should be more willing to, because I feel like I don't typically even think of those lines anymore when I slam at Archangels on my Zarya. But I probably should.
And Archangel, I'm just looking at the stats right now, and Rumble is actually really good.
Yeah, if you get the Rumble, exactly. So you can put it on your Echo and then move it on to Rumble.
Yeah, it's like mid on Echo, but like serviceable, and then you have a high cap with Rumble.
Yeah. I wonder if actually we can find out the so the only reason you would have Bramble in your Scrap game is if you take the Augment, right?
Yeah.
And so you could actually just search the item itself with like a unsplit item holder filter. Oh, and it's actually one of the worst items. Yeah, okay. I'm a little more convinced that, although to be fair, Last Whisper is also one of the worst items.
What if
it's hard to say because this has a Sunfire is one of the worst items in this line. Rageblade, I guess the thing is these are super high play rates, so it's hard to put fault in Rageblade and Gargoyle sounds awful in Scrap, so it makes more sense here.
But you're trying to figure out if Bramble is.
If Bramble Augment is bad in Scrap, right? And so my logic was most times you'll have Bramble in Scrap are when you take the Augment. Maybe at high elo, that's especially true. And this seems to be telling us that it is pretty bad, right? This is telling us that all these tank items are bad in Scrap. Warmogs, Declaw. Because I'm reverse sorting by.
Oh, okay.
Reverse. If I sort by the best items, it's going to be. I don't know why Steadfast is good, but Archangel, Adaptive, QSS, IE, Guardbreaker. But then reverse sort, Rageblade, Warmogs, Declaw, Sunfire, because this likely means like you didn't get the Rumble, or like, I mean, it's redundant with Rumble as well. And then Morello, same thing. But if you look, AD Shred is pretty bad, and I assume Magic Shred is actually pretty good. Yeah, Shiv and Spark. But there's also be some bias in that you make these items when you have Rumble. You're more likely to. So
why is AD Shred bad? Just because most of your damage is Echo and Rumble?
Yeah, I think so. I think hyper optimizing on like just focusing on. I think you typically will end up with these. It's very hard not to when you're playing around 80 opener units into Corki, which is not a bad way of playing the line, but it's just not as good as I think if you were to end up with no 80 shred but have magic shred. I think it's just better.
Okay.
Obviously, you play the line as you should from the opener, so it's hard to say exactly, but I think ultimately it ends up being better if you have AP items eventually and AP shred.
Yeah. All right. Cool. This was super helpful.